David De La Rosa, first guy on the block. What's good? Oh shit, Hannah's here, moderating, ready to lay down the law. All right. What's up, friends? Welcome back to another whatever this is, spooky story live reading. I'm alive, you're alive. That's something to celebrate. We did it. We survived another day. We crawled through the mud and muck to our beds. If you had to be covered in a bunch of mud, do you guys think you could sleep in a bed? Or would that just be too icky? Like, say, you're crawling through the mud. Like, sure, that's all gross and stuff. You're like army crawling through this shit. Just got out of like PT, but they made you crawl through mud. Why? I don't know. Guess it's probably going to happen at some point. And then they're like, all right, nap time. And then you get to, you got to go to your bed and just lay in a bunch of like mud until it like dries, essentially. Yeah, I don't think it would be great. I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world either. Did I hear that Lisa Marie Presley died? No, who is that? Is that the Elvis's daughter? Let me check. Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's daughter, hospitalized after apparent cardiac arrest. Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of Elvis, dies at 54 after a brief hospitalization. Damn, she was young. 54 years old. She looks really young too. For 54. And she had cardiac arrest. That's fucked up. What the fuck's going on, guys? Beast Kid with a 2 says, hey Joe, how's your night? And your question? No, not happening. Not crawling through the mud, and definitely not taking a nap afterwards. Mud house, mud bed, mud everything. Exactly. You just better accept your mud life. We ain't getting out the mud. If you can't get out the mud, you just become the mud. Just squirm through it. Where do you find the pictures for your thumbnails? Oh, yeah, so that's Mr. Robin Mikalsen. He is my in-house, well, not necessarily in-house, but that'd be fun if we lived together. But he is my graphics guy, thumbnail guy. Usually 99% of the time. Sometimes for 4chan stories, I have another friend help me with that just because I really like their art style for that particular topic. But Robin does those as well. David De La Rosa with the 2 says, hey Joel, what's up, buddy? Nothing much. Just another day, another weight lifted. And today was Let's Mud. Is mud mayonnaise? I'd also, it's another fasting day. I'm feeling good, honestly. I've been working out while fasted and just maintaining it. And honestly, I in like a weird sort of like relief sort of way, it's kind of freeing in a strange way to not have to eat, I'm not like encouraging people not to eat. I'm just saying, like, if you're doing fasting for health reasons, it's kind of nice to just like not have to fucking think about food or worry about it, you know what I mean? I feel like that if I would have, been worrying about food, I probably would have been another hour late to the stream, just like getting all that shit ready and et cetera, et cetera. You're eating peanut butter M&Ms right now. Damn, you're working through that bag. I'm jealous. Maybe I'll eat some of those tomorrow. Rosa, I'm sorry to hear that. That's when your stomach growls, it horts. Yeah. I guess you kind of just, at least for me, whenever the stomach growling happens, there's a brief sense of pain, but the pain goes away because I'm fairly certain it's just like a hormone that, is released to indicate to you that you're hungry. But then after that, it passes by. Because you can imagine, like, we as humans, even in the current day, in various countries without access to food and stuff, probably go quite a few days without eating. I think the guy who set the record, or at least on paper, for the most days fasted was like 382 days, which just sounds like fucking absolute batshit nuts to me. Absolute balls shit nuts. 382 days. But I guess he was like 400 pounds, and by the end of it he was like 180 pounds. So I suppose he had quite a few additional stores. Yeah, 382 days of just straight mud. That's probably what he ate to get by. That's where you get your true nutrients. You absorb it through the skin. You're starting to freak me out with these subjects. You're moving in 2 weeks. Oh shit. Jasmine, we are on the same spooky story wavelength. What would you choose to eat after not eating for that long? I don't know. I feel like you have to be like careful because, I mean, even after like 15 days of fasting, I've heard people have to like pretty much just do like the most generic bone broth possible just to get because your digestive system is just like completely shut down for the most part. And just like, if you all of a sudden you shovel in some stuffed crust pizza, it's going to be like, what the fuck is this? And you're probably going to throw up or, maybe even potentially get hurted. But no, it's kind of sweet though too, because like, I know once again, every time I talk about fucking diets and stuff like that, and I'm like worse than my grandma, where you go on a diet every fucking 15 days. But I don't know, it's kind of exciting though. You don't eat the one day, and then the next day you're just like, fucking let's go. Like, you're just so stoked to eat. It's like a great feeling, you know what I mean? Whereas normally, you get excited about food, but whenever it's like you've been holding out for a bit, it's like being stuck on vacation and you couldn't jerk off, and all of a sudden now you get to explode all over the walls. What's the last time I sharted? Let's see. I guess like, what time is it now? Yeah, so like 5. No, I think the one time I did was, the one time that was very apparent that I remembered was back in college. I had this like, I used to call it acai, but it was like acai, acai berry like drink. And I had that the night before because I wanted to try it. It was really good. And I had to wake up at like 5 in the morning for like clinicals and shit. And then I got up, got all my shit ready, got a shower, got my little silly uniform on. And right before I leave, I'm like, all right, I better fart quick, just typical stuff. You're like, before I get in the car and ruin my upholstery. And yeah, let's just say I shit my pants. And then I just, you had to go through the rigmarole of just like fuck, I'm already running late. Now I got to take all of my clothes off. It's like that meme where it's like, oh, gotta go to work. Oop, forgot to kiss my dog. And it's like, oop, gotta go to work. Oop, I shit my pants. Like running back in the house. And it was weird because I, up until that point, I had not suffered from any sort of incontinence since I was like fucking 3. So definitely brought me back. El Mecco too, thanks for your honesty. You're welcome. Yeah, sometimes You know, sometimes you just gotta, you can't hold anything back. Did I shower? Well, I wasn't covered in shit, you know what I mean? So I think just a quick cleanup job did the trick. That'd be funny though, going in there like, well, fuck it. I got literal diarrhea shit all in my clothes. I'm dealing with old people anyways. Maybe I'll just blame it on Bertha. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that smell? And I'm like, yeah, Bertha's been just laying out mud pies all day. Don't get behind me though, you'll pass out. Be skilled with the two that happened to you. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, we've all been there, honestly. We really, it's like a rite of passage in many ways. Like some cultures, they have you go out, you gotta hunt a fucking lion and you gotta skin it and all that kind of stuff. Us in the West, we shit our pants because of the disgusting food that we eat the night before. It's just, it's part of our culture. Part of our deep and rich history of just absolutely destroying our bowels with disgusting consumables. Why did this become the discussion? I'm sorry, yeah, listen, there's a few topics around here that I just cannot help but grasp onto. It's one of my many fixations. Scary stories and diarrhea shit. If you do it in church, you are a higher rank. Yeah, you've earned your angel wings for the day. Your brown star. One time I trusted a fart on a plane as a kid. Also, I wasn't the most honest child if I thought I would get in trouble. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, as a kid, you just got to deal with it. You know for a fact that the giant fucking bodybuilder next to you is like just absorbing your stench, but you just got to like ride it out for the next 13 hours to Tokyo or wherever you're going. Once I ran a video store and my business partner called me to ask if I could cover him because he shat his pants so hard he had to go home. Twice? You'd think after the first time you wouldn't be so trusting of your asshole. You'd be like, it'd be like, please, release me. Release me. No, I'm not fucking, I know it happened 15 minutes ago, bro. I'm not doing it again. Come on. I must say hello to the world. Raven with a 5 SGD says, thanks for the law enforcement stories. That first story, the veteran detective calling out the father and seeing through the ruse was chilling. Wait, which one was that? The law enforcement story, the first story of the veteran detective calling out the father and seeing through the ruse was chilling. Wait, which one was that? I feel bad. I literally just read these stories and I'm like, oh, was this was that one from a while ago? Yeah, the detective, or was there a specific, damn, I don't quite remember. Proud member of the butter fart cult. Yeah, if you consume any butter, that's what happened. Your sister's about to move, maybe I shouldn't watch this. Yeah, probably not. There's gonna be spiders in her cardboard boxes. I have a topic for you about scary streaming stories. Okay. Yeah, this will be the first one. The time that Let's Read went on a 9-minute diatribe about shit. Do the French and Russian accent. Mixed together. What if I told you these things were not so bad? Especially when you have vodka. I see what you mean. That is so interesting. Unfortunately, I do not drink because my father, when he was young, he would completely house an entire fifth of vodka, and in my mind, drinking is not so good. It's not so bad either. Hey, yo, Mr. White. Jesse, put down the mudka. Can you remind me what nights you stream? Yes, so release dates for videos are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So what I do is I record those stories the night before, which are the stream days. And that's Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Get your voiceover contracts. Let's get them. Start pumping them out. I'm just ready to sign anything. Sign my soul away. Please tell me no one here seriously went to see that movie, Megan. It looked so cheesy bad, and Chucky was awful, if you know what I mean. I don't know. People on Twitter said that Megan was good, and I kind of want to go see it now just because I feel like every dog shit movie in the theaters is just so unappealing. I mean, I just need some mindless crap while I shovel popcorn down my gullet. Please give me literally anything, Hollywood. Anything to stare at. Megan was fun and surprisingly deep. Needed more kills, though. Ah, I see, yeah. Yeah, I figured it would probably be... Because it was kind of a mix. Like, they advertised it as a horror movie, but there was this vibe that I got that, like, just the base storyline, I'm like... I knew it wasn't going to be like a Chucky movie. In the same way that the first Chucky movie, like, even though it was a horror movie, it still was a movie about, like, a family, technically, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like the pacing, you can't really, like... just like fill it up with kill counts, you know. Sandra with the 2 says, you missed my membership chat, but I'll forgive it. Oh no, I'm sorry about that, Sandra. Where's that at? Oh shit. For 4 months. Says, hey Jolie, hey Buttersock, call, glad to be joining tonight. Give Pradeep a boop on the nose for me, please. Love you. Thank you, Sandra. I don't know how I missed that. Yeah, sometimes it's just like the notifications like super laggy. I don't get it. But thank you so much. And welcome back. Alright, friends, another minute and a half here, and we will bust into these moving stories. Which, do you think the title, True Scary Moving Stories, makes sense? I mean, I guess if I put it in capitals, you're able to differentiate what that is in conjunction with the thumbnail. But there's something about it that I feel like it's like missing some context, you know what I mean? Like, what was the one? Oh yeah, clean. Oh yeah, because I had because I remember cleaner stories. I had to put house in front of it because house just made more sense. True Scary Moving House. But yeah, it's such a strange phrase, you know what I mean? Moving house. Moving almost like, I don't even know. As opposed to the adjective moving, you mean? I don't know. I just like wasn't sure if there's like moving out. Oh yeah, moving out. Oh yeah, moving out would be good, I think. True Scary Moving Out. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Relocating, yeah. True Scary Picking Up My Body and putting it in a different geographical location stories. Have you seen the crime scene cleaners on YouTube? I have seen some of those. I think it was on Instagram that I caught them. And man, yeah, that would be an interest. I mean, can you imagine that? You go to a crime scene to clean up like blood and guts and stuff, and you're like, let's go. This is gonna make some good content, baby. Let's get it. 90 movie horror just got lost. What do you mean? Ooh, what's this? Who was that? Oh my god, it's Chrisella with the 30 big ones. Says, just finished moving into a new apartment today. Perfect timing. That's so funny. You're like the third person to say that they're in the process of moving or have someone tangentially moving, but I guess that makes sense too. But Chrisella, thank you for the big 30. I appreciate you. Just in time, actually, as we kick off these stories and move forward with the stream. What's the name of the music in the background? Sounds familiar. Yeah, so this is Well, the playlist is called Fly Away Dream Lo-Fi Beats on the Dream Hop Music YouTube channel. And this is called Theo Abel, Pictures of You. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one. But let's switch over to our spooky screen. Dude, it's pretty cool with the Dream Hop YouTube channel. They always have like some sort of animated picture in the background, and I don't know, I need to like, dude, Sony Vegas, if you guys ever edit videos, don't use Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas is the least reliable dog shit program you could ever use, but I've been using it for so long now that my workflow is just kind of like so used to that since I started. Oh my god, though, like it's so unreliable. It crashes. It fucking, like, you can barely put too many things into it without it crashing. You can't like render without it crashing. Like, you can't render sometimes without it being like 0 kilobytes big, and you're like, what is that? And it just doesn't play, and you're like, oh, what the fuck. You ever used DaVinci? You know, I've been wanting to get into using DaVinci, and I was thinking maybe I could just like render my audio parts, right? And then have that as a whole like track, and then just put the visuals on top in DaVinci and just learn DaVinci or something. You know what I mean? I really need to learn a new system, and I need to like, I don't know, I just need to get like nice visuals, because people were complaining that, you know, my I don't know if it hurts you guys at all, but the static images that are in the background of videos, like somebody was saying that it burns into their TV screen, which I didn't think like newer TVs still had like burning, you could burn stuff into an image or whatever. Do I record straight into Vegas? No, I record into like the H4n Pro, which has like a memory stick into it, and then I connect that through a USB to the computer, and it just shows up as a drive, like say it's a G drive, and then you go into the G drive and you find all those files that I've started and stopped, and then I just cut and screw them together in Vegas. But I find the workflow in Vegas easier. Final Cut Pro. I know I need to learn these things, but I also am like, it's just like so hard to find time to just like learn some shit, you know what I mean? What's up, Jacob? Anyways, guys, thanks for being here. We got 7. Only older screens really have that issue, but not all flat screens at Walmart are new style screens. Ah, okay, I guess that makes sense too. The only reason I know is because of what? Again with another 30 buccarinos from Rosa Diaz. Thank you, Rosa. Says, Joel, let me make it rain again, because almost everyone is in stream tonight. We got the whole gang here. Yeah, we actually have a pretty, like, just starting out, getting 374 out the gate instead of like the base 300. That's kind of dope. It's good to see people, you know, the stream is growing. Was it you? Yeah, who asked me? But thank you again, Rosa. Sarah says, Joel, did you read up on the new guidelines with swearing and everything? You know, I heard about that, where it was like you can't swear within the first 8 to 15 seconds, which was kind of strange, because I don't know, it was really confusing, because I haven't sworn, you know me, like when I'm recording these, I just avoid swearing in general, because I thought that was the general consensus, is that you should avoid that because of YouTube's potential of demonetizing stuff. So whenever I heard people saying that they're getting like screwed over, you know what I mean, by like the first 8 to 10 seconds, like you can't say fuck or shit or piss or balls, like, you know, it seems reasonable to me, but at the same time I was kind of confused why these channels are now just saying they're getting screwed, whenever I thought YouTube was already implementing those kind of like, I don't know, things. And it seems as if though it's, you know, the advertisers who are saying like, well, you know, they probably just said it arbitrarily. They're like, how about we say the first 8 to 15 seconds nobody says, you know, fuck your mother, and then everybody's, I'm throwing a fucking fit. I'm losing my fucking mind, man. I can't say fuck your mom in the first 8 seconds. I don't know about the remainder of the video. I'm sure, like, I don't know. I mean, I've seen so many YouTube channels, like they go out of their way to like bleep, you know, stuff, and I thought that was ongoing for a while. So, but I feel like my hot take on that is not going to be as agreeable as somebody who's more read into the topic. David De La Rosa with the 1. Thank you, David. I don't know. That is the unfortunate thing. In my mind, I thought YouTube was actually getting more lenient as time went on, because they, start to see competition from other places, and then, like the whole, we're pretty well separated from the adpocalypse of 2017, kind of thing. And I don't know. I just figured, like, sure, they want to please the advertisers and that kind of thing because that's who pays their bills. But at the same time, I figured that they would just kind of like mislead them. Mislead them is not the word I'm looking for. What I'm trying to say is just like not make a big deal. You know what I mean? Like say that they are enforcing stuff, but then just like, I don't know, gear their algorithms just to like maximize their advertising revenue as much as possible, for all the videos. But I guess at the end of the day, if they have like a set amount of ad revenue that's shared amidst in like a sort of bidding system through like out everyone, you would presume that like to them it doesn't really fucking matter like where it goes as long as it gets used up in some fashion. So I have no fucking clue. It's kind of like on Twitch, like there can only ever be like an X amount of number of people on Twitch. So even if that 100,000 of those watching at that time all go to Pokimane, it doesn't really behoove Twitch to ever like lift anybody else from the bottom out of the mud, you know what I mean, to higher pastures. Just because, I don't know, like if you run the math or run the statistics, you'll just be like, oh, it doesn't fucking matter either way. We can only maximize viewership or potential ad revenue earnings to this much, you know what I mean. Anyways, I don't even know what I'm talking about. How old's Let's Read? I am 32. I am curious to see what people think about this story. I ended up getting into a lot of legal trouble for something I didn't even do. At that point in my life, I chalked it up to life isn't fair sometimes. But now that I'm over a decade removed from the situation, I'm a little shocked at how everything played out. I was 19 during the altercation of this story, and I was young and stupid. I moved out right away and rented this nasty little place with my girlfriend. I used the word place loosely. This was little more than a shack. We'd only been dating for a few months, and we were not good together. We fought constantly, and like I said, I was young, and I thought that I knew what I was doing. Moving in with her was my rebellion against my parents, who did not like this young woman. As soon as we moved in together, we started to fight right away, though. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and she would just be staring at me. And if anybody had ever seen the movie Paranormal Activity, when the main character just stands there and stares at her significant other for hours, that is exactly what my ex-girlfriend was doing. It was really creepy. I woke up 2 nights in a row to her standing there. Now, when I called her out on it, she just responded, "Relax, I'm just watching you." What does that even mean? I tried not to let it bother me, and I also tried not to tell my parents that they were right. I made minimum wage, she didn't work, and I couldn't pay my bills, eat, and support her. It just wasn't plausible. And this, of course, led to fights. I finally hit my breaking point after a month, and I told her that I was moving out as soon as the month was officially over. She lost it on me when I told her that. She started to punch me in the face like I was an actual punching bag, and I held my hands up and just screamed for her to stop. I'm sure neighbors heard, but in the area I lived, nobody got involved with anybody else's business. When she finally calmed down, we tried to have a conversation. I was so surprised at how well the conversation went, considering our track record of past conversations. We agreed to move back to our parents' houses and just take things one day at a time. It was a mature conversation, and I started to feel good about it. I made my arrangements and told her that I would be moving home tomorrow morning. I could tell that she was upset, but just nodded and said okay. The night I woke up to her screaming, or that night, damn, we were on a roll. Numero 15. Remember the episode of SpongeBob's Sailor's Mouth? That whole time they asked the voice actors not to swear, but they didn't know how to, so they just swore with dolphin noises to cover. Oh, that's pretty hilarious. I'd like to hear the unedited version of that. I think that's, I don't know, there's so many good, crazy voice, awesome voice actors, but that one actor, let's see, who plays Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob? Meet the actor. Yes, Clancy Brown. Yeah, he's awesome. You know what I mean? Like it was just crazy for me to find out that the voice of Mr. Krabs is also Sergeant Zed from Starship Troopers. If you remember the guy that's like the do you get me? Guy and stuff like that. And he like throws the knife into the one dude's hand, and at the end he catches the bug. Zed got the bug. Zed got the brain bug. And I don't know, I'm just like, man, some people's like acting career is just so all over the place, and I love that, you know what I mean? Like you just get these awesome jobs. SpongeBob, me boy. SpongeBob. I can't really do Mr. Krabs. SpongeBob, me boy. I don't know. That night, I woke up to her screaming, like the type of screaming that you would hear if someone was getting murdered. It was my girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend, or whatever she was at the time. She wasn't in the room, so I ran into the living room, and she was standing next to the front door. I grabbed her shoulder and asked if she was okay. She was sobbing uncontrollably. I held her and tried to tell her everything was okay. While I was hugging her, she had her keys in her hand and smacked me in the back of the head with her keys. I started to yell in pain and frustration, asking what that was all about, and she just kept saying that she knew. I still have no idea what she knew to this day, but repeatedly, she just kept saying that she knew. I kept stupidly trying to plead with her to relax when I should have just got into my car and drove away at that moment. What I didn't realize was, prior to her screaming, she had called the police. When I held my hand out to try and console her, she threw herself at me. I was basically holding her in my arms. The cops knocked on the door and opened it. They saw her sobbing and immediately handcuffed me. Like, didn't even ask any questions or anything, just told me to step away, put my hands up, and they cuffed me. I didn't know what to do or what to say, and I have never been in legal trouble before. She just kept yelling at me, "Serves you right, dirtbag." I tried pleading with the cops that I have no idea what's going on, and they were being kind of rude and ignoring me and giving me very little acknowledgement. They put me in the back of the car and told me that they were taking me to the holding center until they could get this sorted out. I called my parents, who were down there in minutes, fighting for me. I guess she called the police and told them that I had been beating her for weeks. Let me just see. Wait, is it let me just see? Serves you right, mudbag. How am I supposed to drink this without my diet, Dr. Kelp? They want to hear about the fully robotic McDonald's in Fort Worth, Texas. My question is, do they at least have chefs or some kind of cooking staff somewhere? Well, that's what I was saying, like, I've said, this years ago, but it was like, soon, to work at a McDonald's, you're going to need an engineering degree because you're going to be in charge of, like, multiple robots, It's just going to be you. Oh, that'd be a good, like, Five Nights at Freddy's, like, horror creepypasta or something. Like, you get your engineering degree and you start your first job at a new McDonald's. The year is 2050. But this McDonald's has other plans for you. I don't know. They just start grabbing people and turning them into McRibs. Frodo Sam, thank you. Appreciate the kind words. Their ice machine is still broken in the future. Yeah, Garrett, that's the true horror. The scariest part about that story. Even the robots can't figure that shit out. Can you do Jack from Metal Gear Rising? Which one's Jack? Is Jack's the main character? Jack, Metal Gear Rising. Oh yeah, I remember Senator Armstrong.
I knew something was off. After the Patriots, I thought I could walk off the battlefield into a normal life. But here I am, surrounded by death, arguing philosophy with terrorists.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even sure if that's the right character. Terrorists. Pretty close. Yeah, what other things does he say?
The bit about my sword, that means of justice stuff.
I don't know. I'm basic. It sounds like my voice, but like slightly sillier. I don't know. It's whatever. Oh, that's him? All right, sweet. Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of just...
I guess I needed something to keep the Ripper in check when I'm knee-deep in bodies.
I don't know. It feels kind of right, but it's like at the same time, I feel like it would require some honing in. Let me just see. There are monsters out there that do this, and everything that happens to those people, they deserve it. But I truly never laid a finger on her. She also told the cops that she was the one who wanted to move out, and when she told me is when I lost my temper. Thankfully, I had all the text conversations with my parents about moving home, and that helped me a lot. I don't know how it's possible, and when I tell people this story, they don't understand how it's possible either, but I was held at this holding center for over a week. They wouldn't let me out, and with no evidence or proof, they just held me there. Some people have told me it could be because of the county that I was in, but either way, it was just still incredibly messed up. I finally got out, and within a days I got a text from her asking when I was moving back home, meaning our shack that we lived in. I didn't respond, and I just blocked her number. I ended up winning a suit against them, actually, and had my record cleaned up, but it took a long time to happen. I had this stain on my name for years. And one last detail about this horrible story. About 4 or 5 years ago, I found out that she was actually diagnosed with schizophrenia. Apparently, it runs in her family, as she has 2 cousins that also have it. And the last that I knew, she was in some institution for trying to stab her boyfriend at the time. She claimed she was working with the CIA. What the fuck? You're working with the CIA! Seems logical. Maybe the main character was working with the CIA too, and he had no idea. She claimed he was working with the CIA to assassinate world leaders, and when I found that out, I legitimately got shivers. I thought of all the times she just watched me sleep, and about the night that she had me arrested when she kept saying that she knew. I'm so happy I got out when I did, even if it did cost me months of hell. Thankfully, she never physically harmed anyone, at least that I know of anyway. What do you mean? Didn't she stab her boyfriend? Didn't she literally just stab her fucking boyfriend? Thankfully, he had metal skin. He was Jack from Metal Gear Rising. Wait, what is it? Or maybe an attempted stabbing. I was stabbanied. I had this stain on my... Apparently it runs in her family. Last thing she was into for trying to stab her boyfriend at the time. Oh, I see. Thankfully, she was never able to actually physically harm anyone, at least that I know of anyway. I truly hope she gets the help she needs and that one day she can live a happy and healthy life. She bonked him. She gave him a good bonking. Wasn't it Raiden? Oh yeah. Oh, are you talking about Jack the Ripper from... Or yeah, I guess wasn't that character I was doing Raiden? I don't know what the fuck. Let's see. Metal Gear Rising characters. Let's see. Okay, oh yeah, I guess I was doing Raiden's voice. Oh, but his real name is Jack the Ripper. Oh, I see. Thank you. Puerto Rican. Oh, Jesus. You think there's a person named Pizza somewhere? I fucking hope so. He invented the za. Okay, yeah, nice. Dude, that game was wild. Like, okay, I watched my friend play it, right? And that game was fucking insane. Metal Gear Rising. Like, he, at one point, there's like a young boy that like he works with, and I forget what it was. Oh yeah, I don't even know. Like, the one guy puts him in a situation where there's like a cage, like a glass cage full of kids, right? And they're all starting to be gassed to death. And then the guy is threatening to kill like his one little kid friend. And then like Raiden's like, "Are you ready, or whatever his name is? Are you ready, Tobias?" And like he's like, "Do it, Jack. Do what you need to do." And then like he just fucking like he lets these kids get gassed in the fucking little cage area, and then you think he's just like going in to do like a precision, because the whole game is about precision sword fighting, right? And you think he was just going to go in and like hit that dude in the head with a sword and kill him, but no. In order to kill the bad guy in a cutscene, he fucking cuts his friend in half to cut the bad guy in half, because I have no fucking clue. It just made the whole game was just like so over the fucking top. It was, I don't know, it was hilarious. I mean, they put the kid back together in like a cyborg suit, but I'm like, this all could have been avoided if you just hit, like, the kid was 5'5", the guy that was holding him was probably like 6'2". Like, there's plenty of room for a sword slash to the goddamn neck, you know what I mean? But he's just like, I gotta do a diagonal shot. That's my only move. It just like made no fucking sense. Lynn with the two says, blazing up, playing Pokemon and chilling with the best. Thank you, Lynn. Good to see you. Also, did they update Pokemon yet? Is it still like janky as hell? So many stoners, and Joel doesn't even smoke. Hey, you're all are welcome here in the cult of butter. Do Mr. Joel enjoy his job? I'm playing Ultramoon right now on 2DS. Yeah, I enjoy my job. I'm very thankful every day. Is this a game rant? It may be. There are rants, and then there's game rants. They pushed an update on Scarlet and Violet, so it's not as buggy, and now they're working on DLC for them. Interesting. Well, that's good. Hopefully it actually runs at a decent frame rate. Everybody's blazing up. Just blaze. Sushi with the 5 says, this rant is brought to you by. Let's read. This rant is brought to you by. Do a fucking 2-minute rant about a product in the beginning. There's the number one ranter I've ever come across. Well, probably not the number one guy, but definitely in the top tiers. If you guys ever listen to Tim Dillon is like a stand-up comedian / like podcaster, and dude, he's just like he's just like the master of rants. Like, he can just like take stuff, like he can pretty much do an entire stand-up comedy set just bitching about stuff off the top of his head, and it's like so fucking funny, dude. Yeah, no more lagging NPC for me or Pikachu inside an Onyx. Oh, okay, that's good. Joel lives in rural Pennsylvania, doesn't smoke fucking alky. Right, yeah, you gotta choose one or the other. I saw a funny meme earlier where it was like, I don't know, it was just like me just wanting to me not drinking, not for religious reasons, but just because I don't want to. And then it like cut to somebody like throwing up with a toilet with their makeup running, and it's like, you want to be just like me. It was like the audio was based on something else, but your MC rant was pretty awesome. Yes. The MCU. I don't know. I do hope that, like, I mean, like I heard recently that like Disney's, profit margins, or at least their overall value dropped by like 100 billion. And I'm like, and like I heard that like Hollywood in general is at, like, if you adjust for inflation, has had like a record-breaking terrible year where it was like, in the past 100 years they've never sold less tickets, which I understand. Like, you had the issues with COVID and stuff like that, but honestly, I don't even really think you like had to put that into consideration too much if you just put out some decent products, that people want to see and want to listen to and all that kind of shit, you know what I mean? And I think that's why a lot of people are just like getting sick of going and seeing movies and are just coming to fucking YouTube and like interacting with creators. And because honestly, like the amount of shit that content creators can do, like with 1/1,000,000th of the goddamn budget is kind of wild to me. Hollywood sucks because of streaming now. That's a good point too, is I didn't realize, like I was listening to Red Letter Media, I love those guys, and like they made a great point that nowadays, like when they make Star Wars shit and all that kind of stuff, is like when they make a show, they're not making it so that it like, or a movie or whatever, they're not making it to like spread via word of mouth so that you got to tell your friends so that they come and watch it at the theater and pay, and it makes a ton of money or whatever. In a lot of ways they're just kind of making like shovelware, where they're like, fuck, we have the streaming service and now we just need to start getting out the products, so let's just like pump out as much dog shit as possible because we have like a quota to fill. And whenever you start having quotas to fill, it takes away from the quality. And I think that's kind of what happens, is they're just like picking up any, random writer off the fucking street, which actually would probably be more successful than what they're actually doing. But you end up just getting a dog shit product that has like no passion or oversight to it from anybody that actually cares about the stories, Ethan Massa with the 5 says, sup, babe? What's up? What's good? Take me out to dinner. You're sick of streaming giving me my DVD? Yeah, I know, honestly, yeah, I'd be okay with that. I'd be like, there was like a time whenever AMC came out with fucking Zombie, or what's that show? It's kind of dead now, but like The Walking Dead, like they milked it for all it's worth, which I understand. But like, I remember whenever HBO and fucking AMC, like they really started to pop off with their television shows, and they showed that like these television shows can be just as good, if not better, than movie quality. And then I don't know, like the streaming services came out and everybody shifted their model in that direction, but it ended up creating a sort of like a weird feedback loop where it was like, fuck, we need to pump out a bunch of dog shit, but that ends up hurting the profit margins, because the only way you make money is if you generate more subscribers. And if you're Amazon Prime and you invest $1 billion into fucking the Rings of Power, with Lord of the Rings, and then it's just absolute dog shit, like nobody's gonna go on Amazon Prime Video and like even watch it or like make a new subscription just so they can see it, because that's like the only way you do it. So I don't know, I just think that like I wish that Hollywood in general would be a lot more calculated with the manner in which they make content now. But it just seems as if though they've always just have like an axe to grind with something, and like it ends up like hurting the product overall. So I don't know. You would hope on the basic sort of capitalistic system and how it works that like, if the profits aren't there, then you shift your focus. Oh, we failed here. Okay, shift our focus. Where's the need? Where's the, where's the incentive? Like where's the, what do people want? And it seems as if though they've just lost their way, and hopefully the investors will at least start like putting pressure on them in some way. But at the same time, I worry that like, what if the investors are like so big to the extent they almost like want these companies to fail so they can just like buy them up at fucking super low rates, you know what I mean? Like almost like they're trying to sabotage things. That's just a conspiracy theory, though, in my mind. But I don't fucking know what's going on. I just want good shit on TV again. I miss Rocco's Modern Life. Ethan Massa with the 5 says, got my medical marijuana card today. Nice. Time to smoke with your doctor. The doctor is in. Stop remaking things and create something new. I know. I remember there was a period of time where remakes were pretty common because, you know, there was I don't know, like people didn't want to put money towards it, but it's like now they're making stuff like remaking it and saying it's for modern audiences, and it's like, bro, you didn't have to. There was literally nothing wrong with Aladdin from 1994 or whatever fucking year it was. There was nothing wrong with Lion King in the past. There was nothing wrong with these things. Like, you know, there's in this like modern audience that they're fighting for, they don't really exist. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of why I hate Twitter, because it has such a strong social control over the minds of a lot of creators, because they think Twitter is the pulse of the nation. It's you know, as real as you possibly can get, you know what I mean, as far as like people's opinions go, and it's reflective of a large majority of everybody on Earth or something like that. And it's like, that's not really the fucking case at all. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the shit you see on there is just kind of like fringe crazy shit, you know? So I just think like these writers, these producers, all these things need to just like stop being terminally on fucking line all the goddamn time. Take a break, go be with the people. Just take a walk outside, go door to door and ask people what they're looking for, you know, or something. If it really requires you to be, if you're that disconnected from reality, go fucking door to door, speak to some people, see what they want from shows, and just fucking, you know, create a financial and creative direction from that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to go and oh no, 3 people on Twitter are trying to cancel me. I guess I better just shut it all down. Shut it all down. Somebody was upset. I better take my $1 billion investment and just fucking capitulate to, like, you know, keyboard terrorists. Like, who fucking gives a shit about their opinion, you know? Jackie Chan with the 150. Thank you. I appreciate you. I don't know, man. You know, it's like, yeah, people say, can you imagine this show nowadays? And it's like, yes, I can imagine that show nowadays. Because, like, you know, like, what's his name? The guy from The Office. He sat there and said, like, I don't know if The Office would be able to survive nowadays based on the climate. And it's like, the climate that you think exists. The climate that you think exists, which is just a bunch of like raving lunatics online being offended or upset about everything all the time, that's not reality. There are people like that, but there's not that many. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's a loud minority of individuals who cause a ruckus for everyone else, and for whatever reason, large corporations just bend the knee to it all the time. And I'm like, that is such a terrible approach to producing content that costs you millions of dollars. Like someone eventually has to step in and be like, guys, we are hemorrhaging money to make people that may or may not even be just bots on the internet happy. You know what I mean? These could be trolls pretending to be upset about things. You know what I mean? Just so it's just like the number one thing you can do to not deal with that is just ignore it. Just ignore the crazy people. Like I'm fairly certain society was fine in the fucking 90s. Because I lived through it, and shows were fine, everything was cool, things were great in the 2000s, things were pretty sweet all the way up until like 2015, and all of a sudden shows just went like full schizophrenic, and I don't know, I've had absolutely enough of it, because it's just not reality anymore. I don't know. Anyways. In 2016, I decided I was going to move out of my hometown and make it all by myself across the country. My entire extended family all lived in my hometown. Dare was a bad idea. Yeah, Dare is what brought us here. A bunch of Karens. No, I agree. Like, you just need to start calling people Karens for what they are. Like that, like they're like, when people are acting like Karens, call them Karens, because it's an individual mimetic word that completely encapsulates how ridiculous they are being, thinking that, like, you need to go and get the manager of fucking entertainment because they are just having a bad day. And it's like, have your bad day. Go sit in a corner, have your bad day, be upset because you're probably going to be lucid here in about 15 minutes, so I'm not going to fucking change my entire game plan to please, your made up fucking La La Land. It's silly. My entire extended family all lived in my hometown, and none of my cousins or any other family members had any desire to leave. I wanted to be the one who changed that for my family. Of course, they were upset, being that my family is extremely close, but it was time to experience this world outside of my own backyard. I moved from a small town in Idaho to a somewhat small town in Maine. I was so excited to start my life in Maine. I was told that the town that I was moving to had a small summer tourist boom, but most of the time it was quiet and scenic, which is exactly what I wanted. I visited a few months before the move and met a lot of locals who all seemed so lovely. The community was so friendly, and it appeared as if though everyone there just watched each other's backs. The time finally came and I moved with my fiancée, Ricky. The move was mostly harmless. Unless you're actually named Karen. Yeah, I do. It's funny because, well, I won't go into that, but... Should I change my name to Boomer Karen? Yeah, do it right now. Change it to Boomer Karen and just complain about everything nonstop. But it's weird, too, because it's like, you like TikTok, the TikTok generation. I mean, I guess they're everywhere. It's like you have the Boomer Karens, and then you have the millennial... Mildreds, I don't know, and then you have like the Zoomer Zendayas. I feel like that's an unfair name, but you know what I mean. You just like you have people who complain in every generation, and for whatever reason they're just used to their whole life. Like if they make enough noise and screech and moan enough, they can just kind of like manipulate the reality to be worse off. Because in my mind, it's like a lot of the times those people, they don't actually have a solution to what they want. They're just upset and they want to bring everything around them down to their level of like just in the mud. They want to bring you back down in the mud, dude. Fuck the mud. I'm getting out of the mud. I'm sick of the mud. I'm sick of rolling around in it. I'm sick of being stinky. There's sticks and twigs and leeches and gross shit down here. I hate the mud. But they reach up and they grab you like a fucking zombie. Are you growing? Don't you want to be upset for the rest of your life? Don't you want to be miserable like me? No, I don't. I don't want to be miserable like you. Goodbye. The time finally came, and I moved with my fiancée, Ricky. The move was mostly harmless, a few lost tempers, but ultimately it went smoothly, and by 6 p.m., we were inside our new home. Unfortunately, the blissful enjoyment of our new home didn't last very long. At some point in the middle of the night, I didn't see the time, we were awoken by a strange sound. It almost sounded like a door slamming. Ricky got out of bed and went to go see. When he returned to the bedroom several minutes later, he said nothing seemed strange or out of place. However, the time it took for him to check and come back seemed way too long. When I asked him what took so long, he told me that the front door was unlocked, which isn't like us, but he said that it was possible with all the excitement from the day that he may have left it unlocked. So he spent a few minutes looking around the house just in case whatever they heard was an intruder. Whatever they heard? They? Did I watch Pearl? No, I haven't seen Pearl. Imagine moving to Maine and not setting up a game camera. The humans and animals are wild up there. I imagine so. I've never been to Maine. I really haven't been much into the Northeast. I guess, yeah, living in Pennsylvania, I've gone to New York, and that's about it. Beyond that, I just have no... all those other states seem so silly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. Nothing exciting I've heard. I tell my kids life when I was younger was so much better. They agree. Even the music was better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's some sort of societal disease, you know what I mean? Like a mind disease, you know, that's just like permeates through people and like sort of creates this like inability to keep your cool, to be happy with what reality actually is, or even perceive reality in an appropriate fashion. I don't know. I guess it all starts with the media, really. I mean, it all starts with like social media. I mean, social media is the worst because it literally is just like a bunch of thousands of schizophrenic voices screaming all at once, and you know, it's somehow your responsibility to like contemplate all of them, you know what I mean, and absorb all of them as if though they have some sort of special meaning to it. But in reality, like, you know, if people were upset at you online about something, but then they met you in real life, you know, it was just shit talking online, you know, for the most part. Like, if they met you, they would probably, you know, be like, this show fucking sucks, it's the stupidest shit ever. And then you meet them in line, they're like, hey, you know, it wasn't too bad. It was pretty solid. Actually, not much. You know, so I guess that's the weird thing to me, is that, like, presumably the individuals that make choices at the kind of, like, highest rung, to essentially just like continue to produce products that are not fantastic or great, or in many ways like record-breakingly shit. You know, I can only be under the presumption, because they can't be that disconnected, you know what I mean, like in their ivory towers where they sit there and make choices for the direction of the next, you know, fucking Disney remake. They can't be that. Like, there has to be some sort of financial incentive on their part where they're like, listen, man, we have to make dog shit. They told us. The investors told us, like, these banks won't give us money to do these products unless we make complete dog shit. It's right here in the bottom line, man. We're being blackmailed. And then I'd be like, okay, all right, everybody in the entertainment industry is being blackmailed to make complete poo-poo. And I'm like, that would make more sense, because I can't imagine, like, being caught in that sort of environment and not at least one, you know, because you've seen that meme where the one guy's like, hey, what if we make like good products, and they're like in a boardroom, and just like stuff that people want to see, and then he gets thrown out the window. I feel like, sure, that guy gets thrown out the window once, but eventually when you see the profit margins, that's where you start to like be like, guys, we need to reevaluate things. But I also kind of, I don't know, it just seems like a sort of all right, I'm done bitching about this. I don't know. I can't, you know, you can't fix the world. You really can't. It's just fucking impossible. So, he spent a few minutes looking around the house, just in case whatever they heard was an intruder. Wait, he heard. We. So, he spent a few minutes looking around the house, just in case whatever we heard was an intruder. Thankfully, no intruders. Whatever the sound was gone now. He proceeds to kiss me goodnight and told me not to worry about it, and we go to bed. That night was rough. I couldn't sleep at all. Call it women's intuition, or call it whatever you want, but something deep down just didn't feel right. That morning we had our coffee and continued to decorate and set up our new home. It wasn't until about 1 p.m. that we finally got ready to leave the house, and on the front steps was a package with a note. And the note just said, "Welcome. Enjoy the house." Ricky grabbed the package and opened it up inside, and it was a drinking glass. Just a regular drinking glass. It looked old, but there was nothing special about it. He laughed and made some jokes about people in Maine being just weird or something, and I laughed, but mostly felt this certain sense of uneasiness. I just knew that something was wrong about this. After the drinking glass package... After the drinking glass package. Not if you don't try. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it just starts, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like that mentality of like, imagine this show made now. You know, not to be upset at that statement, because I understand that sentiment. But no, I think, what you should be is just say, fuck that. No, just fuck that. Make it. Make the fucking show. It was popular then. It's gonna be popular now. And maybe even in some sort of slingshot effect of people being so conditioned to thinking that shows are going to offend somebody or going to upset somebody. Maybe it'll be hyper popular, you know what I mean? And it's hyper successful because you touted that line, you know? Like, you look back at fucking South Park and Family Guy and all those fucking shows, like, there was so much shit that was like all the, Puritans of, the media constantly said, like, this can't last long. They're doing a lot of bad things here. But then they kept saying fuck that and kept making it, and people loved it, and they made money off of it, and now they are what they are, where they're essentially like untouchables, you know what I mean? Like, they can just say and do whatever they want, and everyone's like, that's the fucking South Park guys and Family Guy, who fucking cares, you know? So just, just keep going. That's the thing. Don't be afraid and just keep going. After the drinking glass package, we went to the store and ran all our necessary errands. Moving is really exhausting. Sometimes you don't realize all the stuff you need and forget until you're all settled in. That night we had dinner, got the internet set up, and watched a movie together. I felt off and anxious the entire evening. We got into bed at around midnight, and shortly after midnight we heard 3 loud bangs. Neither one of us was asleep yet, as we had just got into bed a little while ago. Ricky made his way to the door slowly, and before he could answer the door, bang, bang, bang. 3 loud bangs reverberated through the house again. Ricky shouted from our side of the door, "Who is it?" And what I heard next surprised me. A very old woman shakily shouted,
Please, I need help. There's an intruder out here and I'm not safe."
My fiancé responded, "Okay, just hang tight, I'm calling the police." The woman shrieked almost instantly,
"No, please, let me in. They're coming."
I stood in the doorway, clenching my sweater. Ricky turned to me, looking for my input, and I just couldn't speak. I just shrugged. If this woman truly was in danger, we were just leaving her for whatever may be out there. Ricky motioned for me to get into the closet that was right outside our bedroom and to call the police. I got into the closet right away and called the authorities. Once he heard me whispering to the dispatch, Ricky opened the door and some very old, frail woman came barreling inside. She started to yell at Ricky,
"Shut the door right away. I saw them out there."
Ricky didn't say anything, much like me. He was trying to process what was even happening. The old woman said again,
Who else is in the house?"
Ricky looked at her and said, "It's just me in the house. Now, here, sit down. Take a deep breath. Relax, I can call the police." The woman became frantic again and started to pace around the living room and said,
"My husband is out there. Please, you need to help him. You need to let him hide in here or they'll get him."
Ricky looked sympathetic, but told the old woman, "Listen, I'm sorry, ma'am. If it's not safe out there, I'm going to call the police now. They'll be able to help." With the flip of a switch, the old woman stopped with the erratic behavior, and in a much deeper and almost sinister-sounding voice, she said,
"Open the door now, or I'll drain the life out of you."
Ricky was not amused. He looked at the old woman, pointed at the door, and said, "What? You get out right now." The old woman skipped to the door like a freaking child, and when she opened the door, 2 much younger and much larger men ran in and began to tackle my fiancé to the ground. I stayed hidden the best I could in the closet and watched the struggle from the crack in the door. I held my breath that the police would be there any second. I could see the men kicking Ricky, and I could hear Ricky coughing and struggling, all while the old woman cheered and cackled. I don't know exactly how long it was. It was probably only moments, but the police lights could be seen through the windows. All 3 intruders ran out the back door, as if they knew exactly where the door was. On the way out the door, the old woman grabbed the package with the glass and she yelled,
"Enjoy the house, Ricky."
The fact that somehow she knew his name made me cry, even more than I already was, and by the time the cops got inside, The intruders were out the door and gone. Ricky got to his knees and struggled to get to his feet after the beating he received. We gave the police all the information we could think of. The random package with the note, which the woman took, so we didn't even have that in our possession. We told them that the intruders seemed to know the layout of the house well, and we were able to give the cops a mostly accurate description of the intruders, as they weren't wearing masks at all. The fact that I could see their faces and eyes made them so much scarier. The two men looked clean-cut, young men, and both were bigger and muscular looking. Both had a little bit of a scruff, but the clean-cut scruff. So, ma'am, you're telling me they were clean-cut and had scruff? Oh, no. How'd she get in the closet unnoticed? I think she went in before he opened the door. Anyone else freeze for 2 seconds? It says my quality is good right now. Clean shaven but completely covered in fur. Oh, your Wi-Fi went out? Oh shit, sorry. Joel, what is your PR? Also, have you ever tried calisthenics? PR for what? It was kind of sweet for the, what's it called? The hex bar deadlift, which is one that I've been doing more often lately, just because it's like kind of the only one available at the gym. But I was able to do 585 for 1 rep, which is pretty sick. I mean, I've seen people online do like 1,000 pounds, but I mean, to be able to do that. How do you feel about lava lamps? I used to have a lava lamp. It was pretty sweet, but then all of a sudden, like the goo inside of it kind of like stopped doing its typical goo stuff and just kind of stayed as one big clump in a corner. Joel, the new Bill Hicks on air, full circle in the past conversation. Keep speaking your mind. A lot of us appreciate your thoughts as much as the stories. And that's what I'm thinking, like, you know, I'm definitely one to kind of like hold back my feelings towards stuff because of fear of just like how sensitive a lot of people can be. You know, because I've said stuff before and people are like, I'm unsubscribing. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, what? Why? Like, because I deviate from your line of thinking? Like, what is it, a fucking religion? You know what I mean? Like, but I think that's at the end of the day, like, everyone should just, if you earnestly think something, especially if it wasn't like contentious in the past 20 years, continue to think it. You know what I mean? Continue to just like speak it, because like that's just like, that's like, otherwise if you just like, I don't know, sit and just allow things to sort of like move around you without speaking your mind, I feel like that's almost like worse, where it's just like constantly building up to something abstractly dangerous, you know? Joel melted the IQ test with his voice. Yeah, and I ended up getting a 20. You've seen inside Stretch Armstrong. I've been inside him. I've seen his goo. You could lift half a small car. Whoop whoop. I know, it was kind of cool. But yeah, legs are definitely substantially stronger than arms. I mean, my arms aren't terrible. Like they're definitely at like an intermediate level, I guess. You know what I mean? But like the legs are just at like a, I don't know exactly why legs just took off a lot better. Like my bench is just normally your bench isn't necessarily supposed to be the same as your squat or whatever, but legs just they can carry a larger load. Your arms are kind of noodly. That's all right. Yeah, you just keep working them, eat some food. I have to tip around at work because I have no filter for cursing or topics. I make sure to only talk to select people, not to risk someone getting offended. Yeah, I mean, maybe depending on what your job is, maybe just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't have to like say stuff to go out of your way to try to like say things, but maybe just say those things respectfully if they're just your honest opinion on stuff, because I think to me that's just like a really strange, like weird world to live in, you know what I mean? To constantly be like censoring yourself and holding back on like what it is, because it's just it's abnormal, you know. Ever watch Chainsaw Man? The latest dub episode was awesome. You know, I never did. I've seen clips of Chainsaw Man, and I've heard cool things about it. You take that pre-workout? No, I just well, sometimes I'll drink Bang energy drinks, but I've been trying to avoid those because they give me crazy anxiety. But I'll just drink coffee usually. Your calves have no jiggle when you walk or run, I'm sure. My calves are too big. Well, yeah, I mean, I think men don't really like store a lot of fat. Like, that's why I remember I made like a tweet where it was like, you know, I don't know, you see like a dad, and the dad's got like this big beer belly gut, but then it cuts to their calf muscles, and they're just like these fucking like Greek god, you know, chiseled out of fucking marble, like stones. And I just always found that funny about the way men, you know, sort of store their fat around their midsection, but then like when it comes to various other parts, that's just like, you know, just complete Adonis, yeah. You can stand Bangs taste like pure sugar. Well, yeah, I mean, there's zero sugar, but yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes it's kind of fun just to get a little hyped up, but I mean, if I'm not like out doing something right after I've had that huge ingestion of caffeine, it's not fun because you just get super anxious. Your only flex is I can drink a juice box for my morning energy. Hell yeah, fucking chug that shit. You like listening to the closing song from Demon Slayer when I run sometimes. That's cool. Is this guy serious? Have you thought about a Q&A? I mean, I kind of treat like every stream as a Q&A. So, I mean, feel free to ask whatever you want. And, I mean, you can try to, I mean, I would suggest trying to time it up in the middle of like, because sometimes I get reading and I just like never look over at the chat because I'm like in the reading zone. But sometimes in between stories, or if you see me like rambling on like this, feel free to ask whatever. Because I don't know, like I enjoy the stories, but I know I'm going to get to it eventually because I have to. Caffeine makes me sleepy. That's how I knew I have ADHD like my son. You know, it's funny. Yeah, caffeine had done that to me. But I've always been curious if like, you know, I've heard people say that with ADHD being some sort of like dopaminergic, you know, like cycle, and the effects of like, you know, just using different, like almost like being on TikTok all the time can like give you ADHD through those constant like dopamine loops. I'm always kind of like wondered if maybe there's a way to like reverse it or maybe mitigate it to a degree. We real question, how's Pradeep? He is good. He hasn't bugged me in a while. He must be, yeah, he's probably up in the warmth of upstairs, part of the country. I'm on the East Coast. What are your opinions on cryptids? Oh yeah, I hope to meet one day. What's my biggest ick? Biggest ick. I definitely don't. I don't know. Just like being in the ocean, pretty much. Just like floating in the ocean, like feeling something on your toes, yucky toes. This thumbnail bangs. Which thumbnail? Oh, the background. Yeah, that's fucking Robin, baby. Do not meet a cryptid. How old are you and Pradeep? So I'm 32 and Pradeep is 8, which is pretty wild. Time flies. Feeling the weeds, the seaweed on your toes. Yeah, it's not great. You're 52, Mike. Nice, dude. Would you consider yourself a germaphobe? Nah, definitely not. I'm pretty cool with stuff like, even if I just like met someone and they're like, here, try my drink, and I'm like, all right, glug 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 glug. Or like, you know, you're at the gym and somebody's like, here, do you want me to wipe? Like, here, I'll wipe that down real quick. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Let me sit in your drenchings, your cream. I don't even give a shit. In the future, it would be a different background. Definitely could be. I definitely should, for sure. Just like have something, some variation there for sure. I might even be able to. What else do I have any ones? Astro. What's this one? Wait. I have some of the old ones here that I didn't remove. Wait. That's the spaceship line. Oh, okay, no. Sorry. Make it disappear. And then bring this one back. Hey, you guys remember that one? Man, that's been a while since I've used that one. Holy shit, it's pretty cool actually. I remember Robin made that. Yeah, it's a huge throwback. I'm 35 and an 11-year-old pooch named Kaya, an 8-year-old kitty named Jasper, aka Perito. Hell yeah. Can you do 4chan? Yeah, I'm in the works of getting some more 4chan stories probably for this coming week, Wednesday. What if you looked out your window and saw that? It's kind of funny because it's almost like it's like a mound of grass with, I don't even know what you want to call it. Like, is that skull connected to antlers? Like, I have no fucking clue what it is, but there's something about it that is just very ominous. You know, you get the Wendigo vibe, or like, not Wendigo, but Skinwalker vibe. The hell is 4chan? You've never seen my 4chan videos? There's one intro where this character is walking through the woods and I for real thought it was a real person in a suit. Oh, yeah, that was, Robin did that one too. It was for the paranormal stories. Honestly, I need to bring that one back because that one was fucking sick. But I just like hadn't done like a designated, because I, you know, whenever I do intros, I want them to be specific to what is being, you know, what type of stories are being covered. And that one was always specifically for paranormal stuff. But it, yeah, legitimately looked very real. Do I live near Amish people? I do, yeah. I'll see them from time to time. They want me to join their gang. Do I watch WWE? I do not, no. I do like, what's his name? Eric, what's his name? Bugenhagen or something, Buhagen or something like that. I think he goes by Ricky something. He's like more, I think he's on like a, I don't know if WWE has different rungs, but I think he's at like a, more of an amateur, not amateur rung, but like one of the lower rungs of WWE. But his whole shtick is like he plays guitar and like is super strong. But he has a YouTube channel and he's like a freak athlete. Do I listen to Dave and Chuck the Freak? I don't think so. Did you ever listen to R.L. Stein's Ghost and Fear Street series as a kid? Or read? Yeah, I definitely read quite a few R.L. Stein books. I remember there was one that was like a choose your own adventure where you were in like a castle or something. And that was fucking sweet because it was like I impressed myself as a kid where I'm like, it was like, go to this page, and I kept going, and all of a sudden the book was over, and I'm like, wow, I actually finished a book. I'm not an idiot. Yeah, Amish gangs sell fake beards. The two men looked sort of clean cut, both young, and they were bigger and muscular looking, and both had a little bit of scruff, but the neat kind of scruff. One dirty blondish and the other had dark hair. The one with the darker hair was balding, and the other man had his hair pulled into a bun. The older woman was extremely frail and small looking, and she had this skin that looked as if though it were almost dripping off of her body. She had long, straight white hair, and from what I could see from my vantage point, no teeth, and I'm not sure about that last bit. The police were unable to catch these intruders, but that didn't matter to us. The next day we stayed in a hotel for a few nights and then moved back to Idaho. Being alone with no family during that ordeal nearly broke me, and then, more than ever, I needed my family. I still live in Idaho to this day, and I have no intentions of ever moving away after that nightmare. What's most frustrating is that I never did get my answers. I have no idea why we were targeted. I can see the events played out in my head as if it were yesterday, and it still makes me sick. The most frustrating and downright horrifying detail of the story is the details that my fiancé told me after we had already moved home to Idaho. Information he didn't tell the cops because he said it wouldn't have mattered anyway. That first night with the loud noise, God damn it. That first night with the loud noise we had heard, Ricky said the door was unlocked. Well, that's true, but it was more than unlocked. The front door was wide open, and so was the back door. The door the intruders ran out of the second night. Whoever these monsters were, they were in my home the night before. I have not slept right since this ordeal, and I'm not sure that I'll ever sleep right again. You should do videos on abduction cases from the 80s, like the Johnny Ghosh, Antoinette, Kayadito, Michaela, Garage, etc. They would be interesting. The 80s always had an eerie vibe. Yeah, 80s stories would be interesting. Also, I'm just curious if this... Let me just test something. Oh, it still pops up. That's kind of dope. Cool. Should anything, but I just want to make sure the notifications still work. Do I watch football? Not soccer, but I do watch Americana football. Learning about men is so interesting. Yeah, I think men are pretty straightforward, should you have any questions. I've been one for a while, so I should be able to answer. Basketball. I like playing basketball. I just never got into like having a NBA team or anything like that, or a college team. In Amish Power Rangers, yeah, they all form together to make one big horse. Trojan horse. A big spoon or a little spoon. You know, you gotta go back and forth. Whatever. Do I like hockey? I do like hockey. Hockey's pretty cool. It just seems like really rough. You know what I mean? It just seems like really raw. But it was a sport that like I liked observing, but it was one that I never understood or played, so I like never really got into it. But like whenever you get to go to a game, whether it's collegiate level or, you know, pros, like it just seems like so in your face, you know what I mean? Like just skating around seems really difficult. It's like sprinting, but then like somebody can come out of nowhere and just like whack you or fucking chuck into you, or you know, they can skate up and spray the ice in your face. It just seems like there's so much shit going on, and all of a sudden they're fighting and you're like, what the hell is it? What the fuck is this? What kind of music do I listen to? Oh, I listen to honestly anything. It just depends on the mood, you know what I mean? Anything from weird electronic shit to fucking, yeah, like 80s hits, or, you know, old time crap, or fucking Pink Pantheress, man, you know, it's just whatever comes to my ears. I just recovered from a back injury, broke my L1 playing hockey. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Amir. That's a pain in the ass. Hopefully you get better. I feel like lumbar injuries, I mean, they're obviously tough because like there's so much involvement, like there's your sciatica crawling through there, and it's probably hard to sit sometimes and things like that, but I have a feeling that those are probably a little bit easier to recover from than the other ones, so you can like might be able to keep playing, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, I live near the Amish paradise. Do I have a freaky story to share? I do. It's right here. Let me tell it to you. The first thing I want to say before I write down my story is that I understand I am partially to blame for what happens. My twisted sense of humor got me in trouble again, and this time people were actually affected by my stupid antics. If you're reading this, and you happen to know the man that I'm speaking about, just know that I'm sorry. A couple of years ago, me and my wife moved to a new house in a beautiful little suburb. It was the ideal spart. Weed or beer? Definitely weed. Beer's okay, but I mean, I guess it depends. Like, maybe you just want a few beers to have a slight buzz, but to me, like, overall, at least with weed, you can, if you're getting absolutely shitter-faced, you can recover from it pretty quick and not, like, be hungover. He had a spinal surgery about a year ago, no bueno. Oh, man, I'm sorry about that. A guy on my NHL team, Dallas Stars, died on the ice for a couple of minutes, then came back to life and continued playing? Holy shit, I can't believe they let him continue to play. Was that recently? What the fuck's that all about? It was the ideal spot to start and raise a family. It was one of those picture-perfect looking suburbs that you would see in movies or shows. I never saw myself living any place this nice in my life, but God bless my wife and her job. I pull my weight, but she's without a doubt the queen of the castle. Right away when we were moving in, I could already see all the wondering eyes from the neighbors. 2 young people covered in tattoos in a place like this. I just know how some people react to that. While we're moving stuff into the house, several neighbors came by and welcomed us. These people were as friendly as can be, even if it was kind of fake, and it was still nice, and my wife loved it. The couple directly across the street was another story, though. It was an older couple, probably in their 70s, maybe even 80s, and I could see them staring through the blinds. Not just quick peeks either. These twos were eyeballing these twos. You're under 40 and just had a partial knee replacement done about a month ago. Damn, that is rough. But hopefully you're recovering all right. Do I like South Park? Oh yeah, baby. South Park, Family Guy. Actually, like, I've talked about this before, but I like Family Guy more than South Park just because I thought the writing was stronger. South Park's good, but since they only write it in like a week, there's just not as like, they can't get in like, a lot of it's like just slapstick humor, you know what I mean? Not just quick peeks either. Not just quick peeks either. These two were eyeballing us like they wanted to win a staring contest or something. I waved to them. I was being a jerk and waving ironically. They didn't wave back. They stared for another second and then closed the blinds. I turned to my wife and said, "Screw those guys. I tried to be nice. It's their loss." She laughed and told me to play nice with the new neighbors. And about 10 minutes later, the man actually came out and approached me. He walked all the way up to my driveway and into my new garage where I was putting some tools away. He got my attention by shouting in a very loud and aggressive voice, "Hey, I don't appreciate you. This is a quiet neighborhood, and I'll call the police if I have to." This poor guy had me laughing on the inside, but instead of trying to defuse the situation, my temper got the better of me a little bit. I looked down on the little man and aggressively responded to him in the same tone he approached me and said, "Will you listen, pal? First off, get off my property, and you can just come into my... You can't just come into my garage. And secondly, I don't know who you think you are coming in here making threats about the police, but me and my wife are good people." Now, I give the little man credit. Instead of just saying something stupid, he stepped up to me, like puffed out his old chest and stepped to me. My wife finally heard what was happening and ran out the side door and came between us. I would never do anything to this old man, but he was trespassing technically, and he was pushing some buttons. My wife tried to calm the tension and introduced herself and apologized to the old man for my behavior. Instead,
He was twerking, baby. Twerk it up.
Twerk it up. Oh my God, who that? That's D Shore with the 3342, baby. Thank you, D Shore. Thank you. How you doing? Favorite munchies? Damn. That's a good question. Oh man, I fucking eat everything. And I eat it in copious amounts too. What's that? BBQ chips, chocolate chip ice cream, Reese. Oh yeah, all that shit. Just shovel it in my fucking mouth. Just get a big fucking forklift and just dump it in, man. I can buy a case of beer now. Hell yeah, dude. PB M&Ms. Yeah, those are so good. Did they ever make... Oh, man. I know they had Reese's Pieces, but man, imagine if they had fucking Reese's Pieces minis. Kind of like the mini M&Ms. I would be dead. White cheddar popcorn? Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Thank you, D-Shore. Appreciate you again. We all deserve video proof of these so-called twerks. When I eventually cave and start the OnlyFans, I promise those will be the first thing up. I've been recording all of them for years. You listen to Horror on the Rocks video, it helps me sleep. That's good. Yeah, is Horror on the Rocks here right now? Yeah, if any horror narrator ever comes in here, you know, I have no problem people promoting themselves and stuff. As long as it's not, like, egregious, but, yeah, you know, just, I love supporting other creators and stuff and kind of, like, bouncing ideas off of them and seeing where it takes us, you know. Dump them mini crunch bars into the popcorn. Oh, fuck, yeah. Yeah, you can make your own shit. I've realized that. You can just make your own snack. Like, what was the puppy chow? Did you guys ever have that puppy chow shit? I feel like for years everybody just made it at home, but then all of a sudden, like, Big Snack got the better of us and made their own in a corporate fucking factory. Do you like Panic at the Disco? There's a few songs from Panic at the Disco that I recall listening to growing up that I do enjoy in a sort of nostalgic sense, I guess. I kind of forget. Is that the one? No, that's 30 Seconds to Mars. Fuck, No, what's the one where it's like... And imagine and the bridesmaid was a whore. I don't know, I forget the lyrics, but that one was pretty good. Where am I from? I'm from Pennsylvania. Closing the goddamn door, yeah. And the side of things. What is it? I chimed in with haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door? No. I want to look up the lyrics to that. Closing the goddamn door. Oh, I write Sin Not Tragedies. You said that, yeah. Well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in the church corridor. I don't actually know the tempo for that one. Oh, yeah. I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. I joined it. Fucking shit. Back in the day, man. Oh, my God. I used to wear Corpse Husband hoodies back then when I was goth. System of a Down, yeah. Why'd you put the keys up on the table? What to? What to? I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. That was a good... There was so much good shit on fucking MTV back in the day. Remember the, like, one Coheed and Cambria song I, like, really liked, and the music video is, like, a bunch of, like, whimsical, you know... I feel like there was, like, a griffin and like a Loch Ness monster or some shit. Do we need to super chats enough for you to get singing lessons? Yeah, that'd be sick. I wouldn't mind singing lessons, but I don't know. Sometimes it's more fun to sing just silly than to take it real serious. But I guess it's fun to take it serious too. But I don't really think I could like really emulate those people. You friggin' love Coheed? Hell yeah, dude. Headbangers Ball. Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, I remember the System of a Down like music video for that one where it was like, or maybe it was a different song, but I just remember they kind of had like this interesting like fisheye lens that would go down into the crowd and then it would like come back up and like almost like it was cycling through, and it was really sick. Ree with the 10 says, I love your singing, you don't need less. Well, thank you, Ree. I have reached the pinnacle of voice. You're like a mix between Fergie and Jesus. But thank you for the 10. Korn, yeah, Korn was awesome. It's just like so fucking stupid, but I loved it as a kid. I was just fucking, yeah, that's what I'm fucking talking about. Yeah. She stood there looking at the man with her... Wait, what did I... Oh, whoops. My wife tried to calm the tension and introduce herself and apologize to the old man for my behavior. Instead, the man spit in front of my wife and said, "You get away from me, harlot. I don't care who you are. You're both dirty and ruining my neighborhood." She stood there looking at the man with her jaw just about hanging to the ground. I snickered in the background, and she pointed to his house and said, "You get away from me right now, and you get off of our property." The man walked away mumbling something to himself, and we both just looked at each other in complete disbelief. Nothing like this has ever happened to us. Of course, since I can't just let little things like that go, I decided to take things too far, as I often do. I have a ton of boxes of Halloween stuff because we're huge fans of Halloween. We go out. My name is Mud. Get out of here, harlot. We go all out every year decorating, and we have a massive party as well. I made a joke to her about how I can't wait to see how he reacts to our house on Halloween. She laughed but told me to just stop and just forget about it. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. She married me. She should have known I was going to take things a little too far. And as I was saying, I grabbed some fake blood that you put on the windows for Halloween. This wasn't just like those sticky decorations. This was like movie-quality fake blood that I used the year prior for a haunted house. It was washable and all that, so I wasn't worried about ruining anything. I took the fake blood and made a massive blood stain on the window that faced his house. When the sun goes down and I turn the light on in that room, it will look like a giant blood splatter on the window. And this was just my shameless attempt at a prank to mess with the old guy across the street, you see. And I could have never have known how he was going to react. I didn't want any kind of confrontation or anything like that. I just wanted him to get annoyed and maybe leave me a letter in the mailbox or something. That night, she and I were watching a movie when we heard the noise of someone trying to get in to our front door. Alarmed, we both jumped off the couch and made our way to the front door. And as we got to the door, the guy rammed right through with the hatchet. I started to yell right away at the guy. He started to approach me and raise the hatchet. Now, I'm a big guy, but I'm not stopping some guy that's about to blow me with a hatchet. Whoa, calm down, buddy. What's going on? I tried to plead with the guy, and he was beside himself, enraged and stumbling over his words. "I saw the blood. I knew you were trouble. I saw the blood." He just kept repeating that line over and over again. I saw the blood. Even though I was slightly panicking, I responded as quickly as I could. It's fake! I'm sorry, I was just playing a joke! The hatchet was still above his head, a little less aggressive now, but still yelling, and he said, Death is no joke! All while this was happening, my wife ran upstairs and began to call the police. This was scary, but I knew I could outrun the guy and overpower him if I could get him to drop the hatchet. While I was trying to work out a plan to get out of this, he dropped the hatchet and fell to a knee. He was motionless and almost seemed like he was gasping for air. For air. Oh, he must have had a heart attack or some shit. Also, what the fuck? What is wrong with this dude? Kicks in the door, has a hatchet. I saw the blood. I seen it. I seen it. I chimed in. Haven't you people ever heard of zipping up your pants? Yeah. What's with the blue wrench? Yeah, that's a moderator. If you say anything bad, they can put you in timeout. Galaxia XP with the 10 says, I got my teen girls your merch just to mess with them because they actually think I'm in a cult and it's just the best. Little do they know. Exactly. Love you all. Thank you, Galaxia. Well, I'm surprised that they're not, I'm surprised they're not fans by now. You must indoctrinate them. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you so much for well, both donating and getting some merch. I appreciate that. Do you like World Cup by iShowSpeed? I saw some clips of him talking about the World Cup and Messi or whatever the fuck. Dude, he's fucking off the chain crazy, and it's so funny, man. I mean, I'm not watching his streams all the time, but there's just some clips of like the one where he was like in VR, and then he went to like his stream while he was doing VR, and then it just kept creating like an endless, stream of him in the background of himself, like, but also like every time he would scream, it would repeat the scream infinite number of times on the fucking screen behind him. I don't know, it was just absolute chaos. I don't know. Shit's funny as fuck though. You thought his insanity was just an act? I mean, it probably is. I mean, I think he's just a kid, he's like 17 or 18 or some shit, and he's just having fun, And I think because so many people follow him for the crazy shit, he's just like, I gotta take that up to a jabillion. I put a Let's Read shirt on my Christmas wish list, but didn't get one? What? Your husband was jealous, probably. You got called an idolizer in the comments once, no argument. What the hell? I have seen people say like, thanks, Joel, and then somebody in the comments was like, why the fuck do you call him by his first name? Like, do you think he's gonna respond? And I think I said something like, be nice, or I don't know, it's just, people get unreasonably angry sometimes. Who were we talking about? Oh yeah, the iShowSpeed. He was just a very popular YouTuber right now. He does streaming and stuff, and he's just kind of crazy. I was listening to your video in class today. I don't usually listen to them to go to bed. It triggered my brain to get sleepy. Today was oh yeah, I always think that if like somebody uses it to fall asleep and then they're driving, I'm like, I hope they don't fucking crash and die. Yeah, because you don't really respond to personally addressed to you. I mean, I guess I don't in the comments section, but like, I mean, if you guys call me Joel in a live stream, I'll respond to that or whatever. But I think people just say Joel because it's easier to say than like, I don't know, it's more personable than like, let's read. How dare you talk to this stranger like he's a human being with an identity? I know, it's BS. Play my streams at your funeral. That would be funny, just like really loud. Me twerking as they're like lowering you down into the ground. Just kidding. Tasha Lagrone, welcome back for 1 month. That name reminded me of something because it was like, I don't know what what the fuck was it? It was like basically like, yo, what's the quote of the day, Tone? And it was like, it was this guy, and he was basically just like saying like soprano shit, but it was always like funny. And then he like walks away, and his like friend follows him like in slow motion or whatever. And the one was, they told me to change. What is it? It's like they told me, or they said I changed, and I was like, I had to change. I shit my pants. And then he just like does a 180 and like turns and walks down the hallway in slow motion. Just fucking funny. It's just funny because like half the shit that I laugh at is still like just basically like fucking middle school, high school, well, I guess like college humor like stuff. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, funny is just funny. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't have to, even if you're 80 years old, you don't only have to watch Rodney Dangerfield or some shit like that. You can appreciate somebody from any age, like just saying some hilarious shit. When can you listen to Let's Red Aiming? Oh, like, what is aiming or gaming? What's your go-to happy song? Oh, man. I don't even know. 'Cause I'm happy. I remember they were playing that at, like, some fucking old person's home. Like, they wheeled everyone out just to play that song just to get, like, footage of it. And I don't know, like some of the old people were like clapping, like, so, but you just saw this like one old man, and he looked like he was about to just fucking kill everyone. He was like, what the fuck is this shit? I listen to you in the car, makes my passengers take off their headphones, superpowers in this. Oh, that's kind of dope. That's kind of a cool way, doing it through Uber or however that works, like word of mouth that way. Like, who is this? Who is this guy? Beast Kid with the 10 says, an elderly couple were in an accident at 8:50 a.m. last week near my school in an intersection. The wife was killed instantly. If we left a few minutes early, it could have been us. Yikes, yeah. Well, sorry to hear about that, but yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of stuff does happen. I think it was more recently I came across a crash that if I would have, like, just little random stuff like that, if I would have been probably involved in it or something. I forget when it was, but it's weird when you have experiences like that. It makes you hug your mother a little tighter. You know what I mean? But thank you for the 10, Beast Kid. You're the goat of narrators, bro. I actually watch entire videos. Thanks, Warren. Appreciate you. All right, we shall continue narrating this one. He was motionless and almost seemed like he was gasping for air. Still holding my hands out in a defensive position, I inched closer to the man and said, "Hey, buddy, you okay? Let's just take a step back." At that moment, the man just collapsed in my front room. I screamed for my wife, who was much better in these situations than me. She sprinted down the stairs, and I'll never forget the pain in her eyes at that moment. She screamed that, "I think he's dead." And only minutes later, the cops showed up, and I told them to get inside immediately. An ambulance arrived minutes later, and I don't think he was even dead yet, but he did end up passing away a few days later in the hospital from cardiac arrest or something. It was tragic, and I felt horrible about the situation. I went over and personally apologized to his wife for any harm or pain I may have caused, and this poor lady could not have been nicer to me. She smiled and said, "He was very old and very sick. He just wasn't playing with a full deck anymore. There's nothing you kids did wrong." That didn't make me feel any better. After that night, I tried to be more friendly and less of an arrogant jerk. I took care of all the maintenance for the woman's house until she passed away actually just a few weeks ago, which prompted me to actually sit down and write this. Be careful with who you mess with. You have no idea what crosses people's minds or what kind of state they're in. I endured the horror of having my life threatened, and then the horror of a man dropping right in front of me in a matter of seconds. Life is short, and I urge all of you to just be good humans. Oh, that's sad. So he was Alzheimer'd. He was stricken with the Diet Dr. Pepper disease. Hey, Ree, good night. Sleep toit. I saw some meme the other day. It was like how haters be feeling whenever I am snug as a bug in a rug. They be mad, angry whenever I don't let the bed bugs bite. Or something just fucking stupid. All right. The story I'm about to share is strange, mysterious, and still open-ended. This story may keep you up at night, but not for the usual reasons. Instead, if you're like me, you'll think about it all night long. And let me start by saying that moving in is fuck. Let me start by saying fuck. Oh wait, you know what? I should probably do a gargle. This is a gargle, not marijuana. If you ever see a three-legged pig, it means it saved the farmer from dragging him under a tractor. You can't eat a pig like that all at once. What? What are you saying, silly goose? Wait, fuck, where's my... No way, where is it? No way, dude. I had, throat spray. Oh, here it is. Do you ever like lose something and then you have to be like a forensic scientist to like figure out like, okay, if it was here, maybe it fell and it rolled and it went down in there, and then you reach down into a puddle and you just grab your car keys. And you're like, ha, gotcha. Closest diet drink ever. What happened? Wait, what? Closest? Let me start by saying that moving is a strange blend of excitement and dread. It's often exciting moving to a new place and making it your home, but the flip side of that is the act of moving, and that can just be dreadful. I have moved at least a dozen times in my life, and I'm only 31 years old. 2 years ago, after breaking up with my longtime girlfriend, I needed a place to stay. Her and I bought a house together, but after the breakup, I moved out, so I lived in an apartment for a year. When that year's lease was up, I looked for a house instead of renting another apartment. I didn't want to buy another house just yet for several reasons, specifically because I was finishing up my degree and I may move out of state after graduation, and the fact that the housing market a year ago was still a mess, much like it is now. I ended up finding an old but mostly refurbished house through a coworker. She introduced me to a neighbor of hers who was looking to rent a house that he purchased for cheap. This guy was one of those guys that just bought houses and rented them out, so the guy never really lived there or anything like that, just bought it, slightly refurbished it, and then rented it out after that. I just happened to be looking at the right time and scooped the place up. He just happens to be one of those guys that buys houses and rent them. Oh, like a landlord? Fun fact, there are now 1,008 Pokemon. Goddamn. Can you get all of them in the new one? How do you feel about the battle system in the new one? It kind of happens in like real time, right? Dr. Pepper good too. Yeah, the Dr. Pepper zero sugar shit. Goddamn. I mean, it's actually a lot more caffeine in it than you realize, but God, it tastes, in my opinion, maybe even better than the original. You got your problems, I got my hash pipe. You got kicked out of the stream for a second. Yeah, I do have the latency way lower, so like, I don't know if it would be more demanding on people's side of things when their internet and whatnot. Your bestie used to work at an Alzheimer's assisted living home. She said it's happening so quickly. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, I hope I don't end up like that. I don't know. It just seems like such a sad way to go out, you know? Why do I remind you of Ryan Reynolds? Huh. Not sure. I don't know, it's just what I imagine Ryan Reynolds saying. Ooh, keep your cool, Kamasabi. What's he say? Kumasabi. And we'll get out of this alive. Ooh, that's kinda smart. Anyways, babe, where are we going tonight? I don't know. I feel like Ryan says stupid shit like that all the time. I am impressed. Let's see. Ryan Reynolds is getting older, right? Ryan Reynolds age. Oh, he's 18. Oh no, he's 46. So that dude, Ryan Reynolds, is about to be 50. You know, like the general population, when they're fucking 50, you know, they're definitely not hot anymore. You know, they can be, as demonstrated via Ryan Reynolds. But I'm just so fucking impressed sometimes with people in Hollywood who are just like, hey, I got an idea. Let me look identical to what I did when I was fucking 27 forever, you know. And, you know, granted, I'm sure he works his butt off and gets a nice little injection here and there, but certainly makes it work. What's my favorite cheese? I think Munster. Munster's fucking good. That's like borderline, like, better than meat to me. But I do like pepper jack too. They should like breed Munster and pepper jack into one. Dude, he's fucking ripped. I remember he got ripped for Blade. Remember Blade Trinity? That was his big breakthrough role before Dead Poop. Shanus, you are hot. Absolutely. You're the Ryan Reynolds of my chat. What's your guys' favorite cheeses? You never had Munster cheese? Isn't it called Munster? I don't know. Or is it spelled Moinster? Munster, I hardly know her. So, Kimosabi. That's how Sabi is the native way of saying Sasquatch, what I've been told. Oh, really? Wait. Kimosabi, us friend. Or what do you... Wait, I'm confused. You're 27 or 37, but look 28. Not Botox, just weed and stories. Hell yeah. Getting lots of sleep. That's very important. I smoked Gouda. Yes. Give me the cheeses. Your boyfriend is 50 and Filipino. He looks 32, works out every day for 2 hours. Oh, I guess that definitely helps. Pike Strikes. Welcome to the Butter Sock Cult, my friend. You now have access to bonus content. We're gonna do the Munster mash. Oh, dude, yeah. You could take Munster cheese and fucking pepper jack, mash it together, make a Munster mash. Beast Kid with the 2. Have you met any fans IRL? I have not, no. Funny enough. I mean, I just never, you know, I went to VidCon and stuff, but nobody knows you there, you know what I mean, if you're a faceless person. So it was funny, I was hanging out with like other YouTubers who were getting recognized and stuff, and I'm just kind of like there, like, I'm one of their groupies. Hi. You're still 39, but you look 65. Well, there you go. You're mature. To keep everyone's information private who was involved in the story, I'll be using fake... Wait, where did I start? Or no? So the guy never lived there or anything like that, just bought it, slightly refurbished it, and then rented it out. And I just happened to be looking at the right time and scooped the place up. To keep everyone's information private who was involved in this story, I'll be using fake names. And with that being said, I'm going to call my landlord in this story Joe. What I really liked about the situation, other than the fact it was a whole house and not an apartment, was that Joe was willing to do a month-to-month lease. Sometimes that can be messy, but it worked for my lifestyle at the time. Joe and I signed all the papers, agreed on the price, and I became the proud renter of a home on the corner of a very secluded street. Once I moved in, I ended up falling in love with the house. It was huge, way bigger than I initially thought when I had just looked at the pictures. You could tell the house was old, but everything inside was updated and new. Joe even had the Wi-Fi set up and was included in my rent payment. As I had just started. Oh, stated. Also, I'm confused. Didn't this person say they were buying a house? But I guess they're renting. I don't know. It's me doing the PA system at VidCon. Attention everyone and all you fucking nerds. Markiplier has canceled tonight's appearance. Oh, I can hear your cries right now. Unfortunately, he said he had, and I quote, better shit to do than hang out with you freaks. Alright, enjoy your stay, and leave the kids alone. Huntsman cheese is heavenly if you can stand a strong blue. Yeah, I'm down for any fucking cheese. Can you do a penguin's O voice? Kinda, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this shit is absolutely bonkers. I swear to God, like, if ever there was a god in the realm of slapboxing, this man is Adonis in human form. He'll slap you so hard that you'll be seeing Tweety Bird flapping around your head for a fucking month after. It's not great, but it's just, I don't know. Charlie's funny. He's a cool guy. Does it sound like Moist Critical? Cool. I'm glad. I've been practicing. Homer Simpson. Ooh. No, I can't do Homer. I can. Homie. Homie. What is... Why you little? No, I can't. I don't know. I can't find it. Is Chill still around? Yeah, Chill's banging out content, bro, left and right. I think he does music too sometimes, but I'm not exactly sure what projects he's really, like, you know, headlong into, though. Like, what he's really feeling. How, Peter? I sounded like Yoda, yeah. Are you little? Homie, you must. Oh, Peter. You know, Peter, it's not gonna fuck itself. That sounds like her mixed with Peter. That was bad. As I had just stated, the house sat on the corner of a street that was off another 3 side streets. You would have to turn off the main road, which wasn't that busy of a road to begin with, and then go down several more streets until you hit the street that I was on. At the very end of the street sat my newly rented house, which was concealed behind a massive cluster of trees. I figured, being an online student and working from home a lot, this privacy was super ideal. The first month was great. I never saw any of my neighbors, which was great for me. It was quiet, and I mostly just spent the time moving in and getting myself set up. When you move into a new place, it takes a little while to make you feel like it's an actual home, but for some reason, I just didn't feel at home in this new place. I loved the seclusion of the house and all the perks, but I just had a feeling something wasn't quite right. I had a small get-together at the start of the second month in the house. I was giving a tour of the place to some friends, and we made our way to the basement. While down there, we could hear this strange noise, almost like something scratching or something coming from one of the walls near the stairs. I really hadn't been in the basement at all since I moved in. It's possible that noise had always been there, but I just never go down there because the washer and dryer are in a separate room off the kitchen, so this was really the first time I had heard that noise. One of my friends joked that it was rats. Another friend joked that it must have been someone tied in the walls. Uh-oh. The sex bots have arrived.
Oh, homie. Oh, Peter.
Yeah, I guess if you close your nostrils.
Peter, do you really think,
Man, it sounds strange. It feels weird.
Oh, Peter.
I can breathe. Oh, fuck. You know you're old when your mother would be 106 this year? Softy, is your mother? Would your mother really be 106 years old this year? Question: do you work out until you're in pain? No, I don't think that's the way to do it. Because, I mean, there's different types of workouts. Like, I definitely think working out to failure is helpful. For hypertrophy for muscles and like growth. But you definitely don't want to as far as pain goes, you want it to feel like a soreness, you know what I mean? Or like a sense of exhaustion. But you don't want to feel like your back hurts or something. You don't want to feel like a nerve is being struck or something like that, you know what I mean? Because in that case, your form is probably dog shit and yeah. Just make sure, yeah. Honestly, I don't even think working out should cause pain. Sure, it can be like, you're like, holy shit, I'm fucking tired, but that's about the extent of it, I believe, Hi, kitty. Pradeepa's here. Hi, baby. What's that? What's the good news? Your legs are always wobbly after squats. Well, that's good. You must be making it happen. Do you think the first person to milk a cow tried a male first? I hope so. Just for the sake of the cow. He probably wasn't getting much action out in the fields. Well, my idiot who was an Olympic lifter, that's all he freaking screams all the time. My joints, my glutes. Well, yeah, the joints you have to be very careful with, you know what I mean? And especially with that sense of soreness and inflammation, it can put a lot of pressure on different nerves, like your sciatic nerve and stuff. But as long as he's not hurt technically, and that he's stretching and shit to feel comfortable afterwards, I mean, he should be good. Massage, stuff like that. Why the eerie music on while you're doing a Q&A? Oh, well, I'm recording stories too, so we're kind of going back and forth. Gotta really set the mood as I answer about my favorite cheese. One of my friends joked that it was rats. Another friend joked that I must have someone tied up in the walls, and my one friend was really scared and just wanted to leave the basement. We all had a laugh and went upstairs to continue the friends' gathering. However, I couldn't stop thinking of the noise the entire night. This noise was not just plumbing or pipes. It was definitely a scratching noise, no doubt about it. Eventually, everyone left except my friend Mike. We had a couple of beers and decided that we were going to figure out what that noise was in the basement. We went down there with crowbars and hammers like we knew what we were doing, but full disclosure, we had no clue. We listened for the noise and tracked it to the same location that we had heard it earlier. It sounded like scratching coming from behind the stairs. I must admit, I was pretty nervous. My mind was racing trying to figure out what the noise could be, but the adrenaline from the situation had me pumped up. Mike and I can thank the beers for what happened next. We thought it would be a lovely idea to take the hammer and smash the wall beneath the stairs, and smash away we did. I am still, a year later, in utter shock at what we found underneath the stairs. I shined a flashlight into the dark hole, and we quickly found the source of the scratches. I counted at least 12 big rats. I'm sure there were more, but after 12 I was done counting. The rats were the least of our concern. In this dark cavern underneath the stairs was a ton of these dark grayish-red stains everywhere. The small room was no bigger than a broom closet. There were also chains, shackles, knives, and I kid you not, a scythe. The chains and the rest of the items down there were extremely rusted, so I gathered that they must have been very old. The creepiest part for me, for some reason, though, was a small, dirty bowl in the corner of the room that had a rusted fork in it, and a stack of old books. I don't know what the books were. They were those old books that have that almost fabric feel to them. I'm sorry, I don't know what the material is called, and the pages looked almost yellow. One of the books was opened, and the writing was almost completely faded. I called Joe right away. not even caring that it was around midnight at this point. Joe came right over and looked at the hole for himself. He seemed to be in a combination of confused, mad, and embarrassed. And I moved out after that night and went to my parents' house, and Joe didn't give me any trouble about doing so given the situation. He even refunded my first month rent. I often think about that little room under the stairs. I still don't know what it is or what ended up happening. I thought about reaching out to Joe to see what he did about the situation, but I thought that may be a little strange. I guess one reason why I'm writing this is to see what people think I should do. Is there a way to look up a past owner of a house? I really don't know about... Whoops.
Rusty spoon. Rusty spoon. Hello. Benedict Cumberbatch and your rusty spoons that I found under... I would like to relinquish my lease. We found something rather troubling under the stairs. Under the stairs.
Oh, fuck. This story sounds like a plot right out of Martin Mysteries. I never heard of that. Maybe it was a Harry Potter room. Yeah, maybe it was Harry in there eating his gruel. That's where they should have kept him. We wouldn't have had to fucking waste our time on 8 movies. Just kidding. Are you guys gonna get the new Harry Potter's Wizard and Witchcraftery town.exe/Skyrim? Whoa. Who is that? Strike with the 5 says, love your content, fall asleep to it every night, play League of Legends, listen to you. You're definitely my new favorite horror story narrator. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Strike. And I'm sorry that you have to play League of Legends. No, I'm just kidding. I just know that I never got into it because I never really liked MOBAs, but I know people who play it are like, please free me from this hell. Which is how I feel towards Overwatch for sure. Do you guys remember My Hands Are Bananas? I don't know if I remember that one. What do you dip your nuggies in? Oh man, it can be anything. Fucking Jamba Juice, you know? No, like I love all sauces equally, honestly. Especially nuggies. Damn. You can just throw that in a pile of goo and I'll fucking eat it. How do I feel about Aunt Cass from Big Hero 6? I don't think I've seen that. But I assume she probably has a big Pixar-sized dumpy, is probably why you're asking me. And let me just say, I'm on board, ladies and gentlemen. You're playing Terraria right now while listening to the stream? Perfect. Perfect. I played Valheim for a little while. The only bad thing about that game is, like, it's supposed to, like, the reward of that game, it's a survival game, but it's mainly about building and exploring the world, and you're supposed to like get to these different bosses through puzzles, and then like the bosses give you something that either unlocks, you know, new items to build or the ability to build new items, but it's very far and few between, and I feel like the end game of it is like not all that exciting. I feel like it needs a lot more shit to add to their building repertoire to match even like half the stuff in fucking Minecraft. Oh, you bought some ghost pepper sauce. Now that's something I probably would avoid. I don't really like to have a butthole that is boiling hot. Is there a way to look up past owners of a house? I really don't know a lot about being an internet sleuth, so any advice out there would be greatly appreciated. If I ever find out what happened in that room, I'll write a follow-up, but until then, I'm left with the mystery of the dark, scary room underneath the stairs. What's up, Tasha? What's going on? Alright, we got 3 more stories here before the end of the stream. It's already 1 a.m. Damn. I feel like the days fucking fly by. It's crazy. anybody moist and wanting always. I attended college in NYU. Oh, whoops. Hey, Pike Strikes. Are you related to the previous donator of Strike? Which I'm curious. But thank you for the 10. Says going to sleep, have a good night, and can't wait for the new vid tomorrow. Looks spooky. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. But thank you guys. Thank you, and have a good evening. Sleep tight. Like sand through the hourglass. Bro, what's your opinion on a new Addams Family adaptation? I haven't seen it yet. I knew that it probably was going to get traction just because, you know, anything gothic nowadays, it's just like TikTok fucking creams its pants. I attended college in NYU, which truly was an amazing experience. Hopefully there is some Bobcat pride out there. And after completing my degree program, I decided to move back upstate instead of staying in the city. I figured that I could move home with my family for a little while, take my old job to save some money, and then search for a job in my field. What I didn't realize was that my move home would end up being one of the worst nights of my life. I didn't have much time. Fuck. David with a 1. Thanks, David. Wednesday is effing awesome. Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Jenna Ortega is so cute. She's good in The Babysitter Killer Queen. Yeah, I didn't even hear about her until this show, to be honest with you. But now she's taking off like a storm. I didn't have much to my name when I lived in the city for NYU. My parents paid me for... Wait, what, did I miss something? Oh no, God, sorry. My parents paid for me to ship most of my belongings back home since they weren't able to come help me physically move home. My father was out of town for business and my mom is partially disabled and is unable to drive. I never got my license when I was younger. I never needed a car, so I couldn't drive either. My only way home from the city was the bus, which I didn't mind. I figured I could put my headphones in and just drift away for the 3-hour or so bus ride. The ticket for my bus ride home was an overnight bus ride, and it was significantly cheaper to do overnight, and I was broke, so this was my only option. I arrived at the bus station early and got myself all situated in my seat, and I was ready for my 10 p.m. departure from the station. We left right on time, and everything was going smoothly. There weren't very many people on the bus, but like I said, I didn't mind the dark and desolate bus ride. It was almost cozy sitting in the back of the bus listening to music. This is one of those big buses with the bathroom in the back of the bus, and I was sitting right next to the bathroom at the very back. I know it's kind of gross being so close to the bathroom, but it is also the most cozy and secluded place on these types of buses. Being that there weren't very many people on the bus either, I wasn't worried about anything being too gross. About an hour into our trip home. Out of curiosity, did you create the splash art for the live stream? The one that's up there right now, or do you mean, when you say splash art, do you mean like the notification thing? Because basically everything you're seeing here is done by Robin Mikalsen, which he is usually linked in almost, I assume, like every video. So if you go into like older or just, you know, any video really. Oh, the scary elk. Oh, yeah, that's also Robin. He's just very talented. I mean, he can 3D model anything. He can blend it with fucking, you know, Photoshop and After Effects and fucking... He's a goddamn magician, to be honest with you. Trying to be cute.
You trying to be cute. You trying to be great. You trying to go hard.
About 1 hour into our trip home, a guy got up and used the bathroom. Nothing too weird about that. What was weird was the extremely awkward eye contact between him and I before he entered the bathroom. What was even weirder than that was the fact that he was in there for a long time, like a really long time. At first, I just thought that he was doing his business, but after 30 minutes, I was kind of concerned and I had to use the restroom myself. I finally knocked on the door because I couldn't hold my bladder anymore, and surprisingly, he opened the door as soon as I knocked. He stared at me like I was bothering something very important, and with anger in his voice but still whispering, the man said, "Can I help you, little lady?" I was incredibly uncomfortable and I responded nervously, "Sorry, sir, I just need to use the bathroom." The man stared at me a bit, then walked out of the restroom. I walked in and said thank you as I passed the man. When I was closing the door, I looked up and the man was standing right outside the door, still staring at me. I locked the door, and as I sat there in the bathroom, the man was slightly knocking on the door. Not banging or knocking hard. He wasn't trying to open it or anything like that either. He was just continually tapping the door, almost rhythmically. In a loud whisper, I exclaimed, "1 minute! Sorry, I'll be right out." The tapping didn't stop. I finished my business and I was terrified to open the door, but I just wanted to get out of the bathroom. When I opened the door, my nightmarish vision was super scary. Everything was super scary. I can't wait for Mayfair 1. They really love Annie Rice after she passed. What's that? And Naruto, because I never finished Naruto growing up because anime was the devil. That's awesome. I just think it's funny, like parents, I don't know, just any parent that can just look at something and be like, devil. Mom, what about this? This might help me get into college and I think it'd be real. It's devil. That's just some devil shit right there. Just demonic. Can't have you leaving the roost. You need to stay here and help me do dishes for the rest of your life. But my fingers hurt. Obviously, that's devil carpal tunnel you got there. Yeah, maybe. Your dad said snakes were the devil because he... Yeah, well, maybe I can kind of agree with that. Snakes are a little terrifying. Honestly, if like I had a kid and they asked me to get one, oh man, I don't even know. I'd be like... Because I honestly, generally, just don't like fucking reptiles that much. Like, I like them, but they're just so unpredictable, you know what I mean? And if I had like a creature that just fucking like bites you or could bite them out of nowhere... And you can't say, "No, bad snake. Don't constrict around my throat and swallow me whole. That's bad." The devil's playground. Do you have to re-record while narrating that often? I just go back like a sentence and start and stop or whatever. Are you a country or city boy? I would say I'm somewhere in between. I can appreciate both for what they are. Why the story break? Oh, I don't know. I just talk to... I talk to people a lot, and basically the streams are like me recording for tomorrow's stuff, so like I edit them, you know? Oh yeah, suburban. There you go. that would be something in between, I suppose, huh? Is it true you're technically a Florida man? I guess at heart. Mainly just because I smoke meth and commit various crimes while riding a gator. When I opened the door, my nightmarish vision in my head was true. The man was standing there staring at me. His eyes were messed up. He had this huge What? He had these huge baleful eyes? What the fuck are those? What are those? Baleful eyes. Baleful. Portending evil. What the hell's portending? I'm going down the word fucking rabbit hole here. Present participle of portend. To serve as an omen. Okay, ominous. That's what he was trying to say. Or she, I forget. I'm the Ben Bernard of Pennsylvania. Who's Ben Bernard? Baleful eyes. Very ominous. How old am I? Hey, I just turned 14. Mom says I gotta go to bed soon. It's almost 5 a.m. He had these huge, baleful eyes and these massively dilated pupils. I knew what was probably happening here, but I didn't want to assume anything. I said excuse me and slid by the man, who just slightly moved to the side so I can squeeze around to my spot. I had already mentally decided at this point that I was going to grab my stuff and move to the front of the bus as soon as he went back into the bathroom. I got into my spot and quietly started gathering my things so I could make one swift movement. The man entered the bathroom and then immediately came out of the bathroom and stood right next to my seat. I couldn't get by him, even if I wanted to. These back seats next to the bathroom were like a small nook. It's angled off in a way where there are no seats next to you, so the man was standing in this angled walkway blocking my way out. I immediately thought about screaming, but I feared what that might do. There were also a few small children on the bus and I didn't want to alarm them. I'm not sure why I was thinking about other people in this situation instead of taking care of myself, but it's where my mind was. As I tried to contemplate my next move, the man turned to me and said, "Where is he?" He was still whispering and quiet, but sounded angry. Trying to be calm, but sounding nervous for sure, I responded, "I'm sorry, sir. I don't know what you're talking about." He slammed the seat in front of me and then bent down to my level. "I left him in the bathroom, and when you came out, he was gone." He started to become visually more upset and angrier and started to inch closer to me. I put my hands up to create a solid distance between us, and the man angrily said, "I saw you looking at him, and then you took him, didn't you? Didn't you?" And he even started to shout. Thankfully, the bus driver must have known or seen something weird. He began to pull over and then made his way to the back of the bus. He could see that I was visibly tummy is acting up while dozing off. Oh no. What's going on with that tummy? What'd that tummy do? Joel is drunk? No, I'm not. Am I? Do I sound drunk?
Does that sound drunk to you?
What seems to be the problem, officer? Officer? He could see that I was visually upset and that the situation was clearly hostile. He stood right behind the man and asked, "Excuse me, sir. Is there some kind of problem here?" The man ignored the bus driver and continued to stare right at me. And now, in a full shout, the man yelled, "Where is he?" As he screamed, he was erratically nudging the seat in front of me. I just kept yelling at this point and hoped that the bus driver would do something. Finally, the bus driver told the man he had to step away. The man must not have liked this idea, as he stood up and screamed in the bus driver's face. After his howl, he looked at the bus driver and screamed, "So you took him!" He slammed the bus driver to the ground and ran to the front of the bus. At this point, you could hear the gasps of everyone on the bus as this clearly insane man sprinted to the front. Once he got to the front, I half expected him to try and steal the bus, but instead he, cannonballed his body into the door of the bus. And once he was outside, he just sprinted away. I stood up and looked out the window, and this guy was like the Flash, and within seconds, he was out of sight. The bus driver got behind the wheel and drove away quickly, and once we made it to a rest area, he checked on everyone, especially me, to make sure I was all right. He called the police and did what he was supposed to do. I talked to them and gave them a report on everything, but given the extremely weird nature of the situation and where it took place, the cops told me that there really wasn't anything they could do for me. All things considered, I'm extremely lucky that nothing worse happened to me that night. This could have been much worse, but I'm so fortunate that the bus driver got up when he did, and honestly, I'm lucky the man to... Doing impressions of you again. Let's see. Low-key pissed we got the basketball player back. Oh, shit. This could have been much worse, but I'm so fortunate the bus driver got up when he did, and honestly, I'm lucky the man decided to just get off the bus and run. I don't know if those buses have cameras or ways to track people, so I have no idea if they ever caught this guy or if he's just out there somewhere running around trying to find his imaginary friend. My advice to anyone taking public transportation in the middle of the night: please be safe and sit near a lot of people. Sometimes being nestled all cozy in the corner can be the worst mistake you can make. Everything's legal in Canada, even assisted suicide. I did see that about Canada more recently related to, like, assisted suicide, and it was just like, that came out of fucking nowhere, dude. I'm just like, people, you know, I don't know. They're just like, all right, guys, we've legalized marijuana. And also, we'll kill you, too. Wait, what? Ah, we just threw that in there. If you really just not in the mood to be alive anymore, we'll do it for you. No worries about going and getting a gun and setting everything up and putting on music, buying a toaster, bathtub, all that bullshit. We'll just inject you with some shit. Oh, okay. What if we don't want? Why are you doing this? No, I don't know. What I'm saying is that, like, it's just, I feel like it came out of fucking nowhere. Like, and I think I saw some story. It was really sad. It was like this guy, he was on disability and he like couldn't work, but like he couldn't pay his bills. So he's literally, I mean, I understand people end up in suicidal positions a lot anyways, but it's just like, he couldn't pay his bills. He couldn't work because he was in so much pain all the time. And rather than just like be a burden on people, he's just going to have the government like give him, I mean, once again, I'm kind of coming at this from an ignorant perspective. I don't know the exact specifics, but you know, he's going along with assisted suicide, and I was just like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess it's better than him like splattering his brains all over the you know, wall and whatnot and ruining the paint job, but it's just like, I don't know, it just seems like a weird sense of like where you can't work and the government won't cover you there. And like I think it was like Social Security was running it out or something, so he can't pay his rent. So it's this weird type of like future dystopia where the government's just like, it's okay, we'll just turn you into fucking hamburger or something. I don't know. Don't worry about that. We'll take care of you. It's very strange. You have to jump through a lot of hoops medically to be able to take advantage of an assisted death. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's, I mean, I assume there's probably a lot of paperwork and shit. But, as opposed to good old Smith & Wesson, no, I'm just kidding, don't even, dude, that's the terrifying part, is like people that like do that, but they like miss the brainstem, and then just for the rest of their life, they're just like maimed or fuck it. Like, didn't I just read a story about that where the guy was going from fucking door to door asking for help, but they thought he was wearing a monster mask, and so they're closing the door in his face, and he fucking, you know, but it turned out that he like attempted to take his own life, but like missed and just ended up blowing off his fucking like front of his face or something. And then, God, dude, like, I remember, oh man, yeah, I remember in like back in the nursing days, there was a guy in a similar situation. He tried to do that and he missed, whatever. Like, I mean, because you think, I'm sure when people do that, they just think to me like, oh, I'll put a gun in my head, I'll put it in my mouth. And first off, don't do this stuff. And I apologize, talking about this is like uncomfortable, but it's just like they think it's just gonna work out. But this dude fucking did it, and then he didn't, like, I don't think he blew off, like, I mean, because he looked relatively normal now, so I'm sure he went through various surgeries and stuff. But it's just like he ended up like borderline paraplegic in a nursing home situation, and he would be in and out of the hospital for various issues. But just like, oh my god, it was like he was just this sort of husk of a human, like, prior to it. And like when we would have to turn him to help with incontinence and stuff like that, he would just like scream, like just fucking scream bloody murder and like try to hit you and stuff. And it's just like, it's a completely different person at this time, you know what I mean? And Jesus fuck, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's so fucking sad. And it's just like, can you imagine, like, you're at your lowest of your lows, and then you go to do that, and then you just end up like ruining your life more. And I don't know, that's like, you're just like, it's as if though you like teleported yourself to like a further hell, you know what I mean? Crazy shit. Yeah, I guess that might be a good candidate. I mean, but at the same time, like, would he even be able to consent to that at this point because of this mental acuity, or, the fact that he has people or like a place that takes care of him or something? I have no fucking clue. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it is very complicated. I don't know. It is dystopian in a way, but I guess, like, if someone's in a position where they're going to do it anyways, you might as well have it, like, happen fucking appropriately, I guess, or, like, cleanly, or, like, peacefully, I don't fucking know. Life is strange. Alright, we got 2 more stories. Damn, this is a bit. This is a lot. You like the cop stories now? What about robber stories? Exactly. From the perspective of the thief. From the perspective of the government. Where's the bloke with the dad jokes medium? Yeah, let me pull those out of my butt real quick. Would the fish say to the philosopher, Carpe diem? Can I please say hi, Caroline? Hello, Caroline. Or Carolina, sorry. Don't know what to do. I've watched / listened to all your vids. Well, now you gotta listen to the podcast, because it's remastered. What do you call a cow with no legs? Oh yeah, ground beef. I know that one. Oh, how old am I just turned 10. My mom says that I can have an Xbox next Christmas. Moving can be the worst sometimes. Due to my job, I am constantly having to move. At first, the idea of having to move all over the country was exciting. I would be able to view cities and landmarks that would otherwise never get to see. But even though I got to see some truly remarkable places, not every new place was great. Last year, my company had me move to a small town in Vermont. All things considered, the place wasn't that bad, I guess. The house was a tiny little cabin tucked away in the woods. The town was small, the people kept to themselves, and my new house for the month was just fine. Regardless of all that, this is not one of the better places, though. The Wi-Fi was shoddy, and if I needed a grocery store or even a Walmart, it was about a 25-minute drive. I just wanted to keep to myself for the month in my small little hut and be on to the next location. I had 2 neighbors on each side of my house, but they were separated by a good amount of brush. Because it was winter, you could see through the trees a little bit, but they were just far enough away that I wouldn't go out of my way to say hi, as bad as that may sound. 2 nights into being in my new house, I went out back to have a cigarette before I went to bed. It was around 11 p.m. if I had to guess. This was one of those middle-of-nowhere places, so out in the backyard it was completely pitch black. It's that beautiful darkness, though, where it's creepy, but there is also a strange beauty to it. And before heading inside, I just happened to look over, and through the brush I could see my neighbor just standing there, seeming like he was staring at me. I winced a little bit, trying to focus on him, and it looked as if though he was staring at my house and not me. I waved, but the man didn't move at all. It looked like he didn't even notice that I was standing there. Weird. But I was tired and I didn't really care, so I went inside and got myself ready for bed. Shortly after coming inside, I got into bed and just passed out. I don't know exactly how much time had passed, but I heard an extremely loud noise in my living room that woke me up. I sat still in bed for a second, thinking maybe I had just dreamed the noise. I got up and peeked out of my bedroom door, and the hair on the back of my neck stood straight up. There was a man in my living room. I know I locked the door, so whoever this was broke the door. I didn't own a gun or anything like that, so I basically just sat behind my door, just completely crippled in fear. As the seconds passed, I could hear the creak of the hardwood floors getting closer to me. I contemplated making a run for it, but I wasn't confident in my abilities to make a run for it. When the creaky floorboards sounded like they were right outside my room, they stopped for a moment, and then started to move back in the other direction. I got up and peeked out of the door again. In the mostly dark house, the only light was a low dim from the moon. As I tried to make out the details of the intruder, another noise came from the other side of the room the intruder was walking in. My first thought was, God, another one, and my stomach sank even deeper. Then, without noticing, in the extreme quiet of the night, Klaus Demann with the 2 for you, my lord. Thank you, Klaus. Thank you, my child. The video picture spooked you? Like the one right now? I think it's cool too. I think it goes like in and out of focus. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking it does. I'm pretty sure that actually goes in and out of focus, and if you look at it at the right angle, you can see that that's not actually a skinwalker's skull, but the front part of an elk or something like that. Something in that family.
Then, without notice, in the extreme quiet of night, in a loud and commanding voice, the intruder shouted, "Freeze! Derek, put the weapon down and come here right now." Your background is missing your info? It's whatever. It's cool to look at. Then, without notice, in the extreme of the night, Do I could sound like an angry Fortnite kid. Well, I guess I could do that voice. And my mom said I could get an extra Fortnite card with. Well, first off, she said I could get an Xbox, and then she said I could get a $19 Fortnite card. And then I also thought that it would be pretty sweet to get like a Visa card, because then I could spend it on anything I wanted, which would be sweet. Well, my dad says that sometimes I might not be able to get these things because I'm pretty bad, mainly because I don't ever listen. But the reason I don't listen is because there's so much other stuff going on that's so much more interesting, so I just don't care. But basically, if I get Fortnite, then in that situation, then I could play with my friends, and then I'll be happier. And then when I'm happier, then I won't have to be not paying attention, because I'll have video games to make it so that I want to pay attention later. So I hope that makes sense. Fortnite Battle Pass. I just shit out my ass. I can do any voice you want. $19 Fortnite card, who wants it? Then, without notice, in the extreme quiet of night, in a loud and commanding voice, the intruder shouted, "Freeze! Derek, put down the weapon and come here right now." The intruder was a cop. I was shocked, relieved, and honestly surprised. Where I'm from, cops won't just enter a house, but in this instance, I was happy he did. In the direction the cop was facing with his outstretched hand, I could hear someone laughing. Such a horrible laugh, though. It was like a low giggle with almost a hint of a growl. "Derek, easy now. You don't live here." I heard the carp. Fortnite Battle Pass. I just shit out my ass. Damn, there was like I heard it just a little bit ago. It was like a sea shanty the way they sang it. Do 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 do. Fart knife. Did you fart on this knife? I heard the cop murmur something again, and then without warning, the man from the other side of the room emerged from the shadows and tried to run right through the cop. The cop seemed to take him down, and I heard something large hit the ground at the same time as both men fell to the floor. As I sat cowering behind the door, the cop shouted, "If anybody's in here, get in your car now and drive a mile down the road where another officer is stationed." I wasted no time. In my boxers and Nintendo 64 t-shirt, in the heart of winter, I grabbed my keys and ran out of the door to meet the other. Fuck. Jensen! It's Daddy's home. He's here. What's up, bro? What's going on? I hope you're wearing Jensen, are you wearing boxers and a Nintendo 64 t-shirt? In my boxers and Nintendo 64 t-shirt, in the heart of winter, I grabbed my keys and ran out the door to meet the other officer. When I got to the end of the road, there were 2 police officers and my neighbor. In my car for work, I had a pair of snow pants that I put on so I didn't look so ridiculous, and after getting slightly dressed, I approached them and asked what the heck was going on. The first one said anything. What the heck is going on? Yeah, every stream, I'm just completely buck naked. The clapping of the cheeks. Oh, Fortnite Battle Pass. I just shit out my ass. You feel like I could make a good Joe from Family Guy voice? Peter. Alright, Peter. Put the weapon down, Peter. Jensen's really good at fucking Joe. He did a meme one time that I inspired him to do. It was pretty fucking funny. Think you could do Meg? No, I can't do Meg at all. I don't even know where to start. Dad, what the hell? Nah, I have no idea. I wouldn't have no idea how to do it. Bubbles? Which one's Bubbles? Can you do Kakashi Sensei? Let's look him up. I like doing anime voices. Kakashi Sensei? Oh, it's face reveal? Oh, what? Wait. Top 10 Kakashi fights in Naruto. Oh, somebody must have asked me this because I've watched this before. Wait, let's look it up. Dub. Oh yeah, somebody asked me about this before, I think. Well, Kakashi, let's see. Sorry, I'm just listening to this shit.
The Anbu Black Ops unit that I assembled defeated so easily. You're not an ordinary Genny, are you?
I don't know. It's kind of there, I guess, but not. I don't know. Do let's read.
Hey guys, let's read here. I just shit out my ass.
Do Jotaro Kujo. All right, let's see. Jotaro. See, I feel bad. I don't know any of these people. Any of the characters, that is. Dub. English dub. About to get that English. Oh, somebody asked me this before too. That's funny. Well, at least I know maybe I have a chance at doing it if I looked it up before. Let's see.
Can I do Kermit? Yes, I can do Kermit a little bit. Miss Piggy.
Let's see. Jotaro. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Wait. Jotaro disrespecting women compilation. Alright, let's click that. Let's see what he says. Dude, he's so cool looking. Oh, he's Jojo? Jotaro is Jojo? Alright, let's hear him fucking speak. Come on, dude. Alright, he's about to say some shit.
Shut up! You're freaking annoying!
I don't know.
Oh my god, he said that to me.
Is he... I wonder if he... How old is Jojo in this show? He looks fucking giant. Sorry, guys. I swear to God, there's like more of the other characters.
I know that.
Come on. Jojo, say a fucking word. I guess he just yells the whole time?
Shut up already! Go bug somebody else!
I don't fucking know.
My precious. Go back somebody else. Stupid fat. So weird.
Mojo Jojo. Mojo Jojo.
Okay, sorry. I get on these fucking... I'm like, I go to the fucking dubs, you think you're gonna hear the fucking person do the voice, and then half of it is just like all the character build-up shit. I don't know, it's whatever. Sorry, I feel like I'm like wasting time though. Klaus Damon with this. Welcome back for 7 months in the Buttersock Cult. Says, Joel, love the cop stories. Now let's hear the robber stories. Can't wait to see a million Buttersock Cult minions.
Oh, minions.
But Klaus, thank you for 7 months. And yes, we are nearing... It's kind of sick. We're hitting like close to 600 new subscribers a day, which is pretty huge. I don't know where all the numbers came from, but... Original Jensian, welcome back for 31 months. He's got the fedora unlocked. Impression of a guy getting his prostate checked by Shaquille O'Neal.
I've seen God. I've seen God.
Dude, if you guys haven't followed Jensen on fucking TikTok, please go do that right now. He's the funniest son of a gun. You're gonna clip that. Alright, yeah, that's fair. Alright. The first one to say anything was my neighbor, who came right over and patted me on the shoulder and said, "Thank God you're alright, buddy." I just nodded along with him, still at a loss for words, trying to process everything. Once the cops checked on me and made sure that I was actually alright and not hurt is when I actually got the entire story. About a year ago, a girl lived in the house that I was now staying in. This guy, Derek, was her boyfriend, and the two of them were doing some not-so-legal things in the house. It ended up causing the woman to die, and Derek did not take it well. The guy pretty much went off the deep end and kind of just started to waste away. He was in and out of jail for some petty stuff, but the cops thought it was just to get a meal and get to sleep in a bed during the cold nights. A few times within the past year, Derek was seen trying to break into the house that was vacant at the time, claiming that he needed to get back inside to see her. A few months ago, nobody around the town had seen Derek, so as morbid as it is, the people in the town just kind of thought that maybe nature got to him, or that he wandered into another town. Until tonight, when my neighbor was taking out a... Oh, fuck. You fell off your seat. That's amazing. We need you to call scammers next with your voices. That would be funny. We can do some fake business. Maybe next year he can do Sosuke Ichida. Let's see. I don't know. Every time I hear like an anime name, I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta at least try it. How do you spell that? Sosuke. Sosuke Uchiha. English dub. Let's see it. Oh wait. Did I already... I'm not obliged to answer. I'm not obliged to answer. What difference does it make to you? There's nothing that you can do about it anyway. I don't know. It seems pretty... I mean, I'm not good at it, but it seems like the voice is kind of... It's not like something crazy. Sasuke. Kakashi, you're being just like Sasuke right now. Sorry, I forgot their name. Sometimes I just make stuff up on the fly. Just be quiet for a bit. It's kind of interesting though when you look at like anime voice acting. It seems like, I don't know, it's like this weird mix of like almost monotone, but sometimes like excessively expressive. You know what I mean? It almost seems like it's like it's satirical. Oh, not necessarily satirical, but it's almost like it's hyperbolic. I don't know how you describe it. It's almost just like the way that they act and stuff. It's not like crazily believable in the sense, you know, it's almost like comedic, you know what I mean? And I almost feel like that makes it more fun, because then you can kind of just be that thing, you know, even though there are moments where it's, you know, emotional and definitely requires quite a bit of range, and I feel like getting yourself into that character, but it's very stylized. That's why, man. Sub over dub. Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't know, but that almost like encourages me a little bit in a weird way, that if I ever am able to break into that realm, that maybe I don't have to be like too insane of an actor. You know what I mean? Because like, it almost reminds me a little bit of like old Resident Evil voiceovers where like, hey, where'd you go? Aren't you afraid of the fucking zombies out there, man? That sounds about right. The place is filled with fucking zombies. You know, it's just like, I don't know. It's just corny, you know, but it seems like a good time though. I sound like a Suma? Okay, nice. Nice! We've got it! We've figured it out! I don't know. That doesn't sound right, though. Can you do a COD zombie noise? I don't know what they sound like. I feel like they're more of like hisser. They're like hissing zombies, like... Do you practice these voices before your stories? No. I mean, I do find myself, I've just always been like this, and I'm sure you guys do too. Like, anytime you hear a voice Whether it's like one thing you watch The Office, and then anytime they ever say something, you kind of instead, like, maybe you'll laugh, but sometimes you'll just like sort of copy what they say, almost like copy their timing. And I feel like that sort of inclination towards just like mimicking other people's voices that you find interesting sort of adds to the ability to just go for it or whatever. But the Resident Evil voice was hot.
Perfect. What the hell?
That's what you want for your voiceover. Just go,
Leave a message after the beep.
until tonight, when my neighbor was taking out his dog. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be more scary when I said that. Until tonight, when my neighbor was taking out his dog, he thought he saw a man laughing and making his way through the brush that separates my house and his. He said he didn't even see me outside smoking because he was watching Derek pace in front of my house and then jump into an unlocked window in the kitchen. He went inside immediately and called the police. Everyone was familiar with Derek, especially my neighbor and the police, and that is why the cop broke my door and just came in, because he knew that I was in legitimate danger. When the cop tackled Derek, the loud noise that I heard hitting the ground was a machete. Yes, an actual freaking small sword. They arrested Derek, who could barely talk at this point. It was sad to see how much the human brain can diminish at such a young age, and to the naked eye, this Derek guy looked like a normal, decent-looking fella. You would have no idea a dark passenger lives within his own... Wait, what? A dark passenger? I sound like Carlos from Resident Evil 3. Funnily enough, what's his name? Unit 522, I remember he had me redo the one like exposition intro for Resident Evil 1. So if you ever go to Unit 522's channel and look up Resident Evil, you guys can hear me do like somewhat of a voiceover for a video game opening. And it turned out pretty well. It was fun. Is there a certain voice you like doing? I guess I just like doing these kind of voices. Something evil, but kind of unknown. I don't know. It's just, where it's like kind of comedic, almost like, oh, I guess he is going to talk like that, isn't he? Like, it's almost, I wouldn't say it's sexual in nature, because it's not necessarily supposed to be sexual, but it's just sort of like that guy, and he's a little creepy. And Snagglepuss, of course, I love Snagglepuss. He's my favorite character. He's funny. He's crazy, even. The shark from Finding Nemo. Is that what that sounded like? Yeah. I have to return some videotapes. I can't get married. I can't get the time off of work. Do Jennifer Coolidge. I don't know if I've heard that. Do anything Tim Curry. I don't remember anything from Tim Curry other than the pirate that he played. Come on, oops, shit, I just fucking banged my mic. Come on, Jim. Jim. Or I guess, oh yeah, what is it?
Hiya, Georgie. Pennywise the clown here. Key wrecked? Well, I guess we're not strangers anymore.
You could do Light from Death Note. Oh, could probably do Light. Yeah, Light's pretty... I like Light's voice. Let's listen to that one real quick. Light from Death Note. Light Yagami's final speech. English dub. He's laughing. God. 600 stoners not sleeping. Yeah. Here we go. He's gonna talk. That's right. I am Kira.
And what can you do? Kill me right here?
I don't know if I can quite hit his tone, though.
Hear this. I'm not only Kira, but I am also God of the New World.
Whatever. I don't know.
Kira has become law in the New World.
Maybe it's a little too deep. I don't know. This is his voice actor practice. We're supporting his dream. Thank you, Astro. You are. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. He's become Macho Man.
Macho Man Oh yeah, brother. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Lord of the Hollows with you. He's got some merch. Excited to get it. I appreciate you. Thank you, Lord of the Hollows. Thank you. Which one did you get? I need to update it. What kind of stuff would you like to hear? I'm going to write this down because I might actually be able to generate some merch way easier, honestly, lately. So is there anything cool that you guys think would be sweet merch ideas?
Correct. Snaggle-wise. Snaggle-wise.
This voiceover boot camp? Yeah, are you working out while listening to this?
Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah. Eat that disgusting meat stick. Oh, fuck.
Merch, please, for the Lord, love of all things holy, I beg you. Yeah, what do I do? Some magnets. Well, that's unfortunately not on my end, but design-wise, your Krampus thumbnail and cover on t-shirt. Oh, okay. That'd be interesting. Krampus. Merch. Merch. Krampus nail.
Cream of the crop, baby. Cream of the crop.
Yeah, when I was like fucking doing the like sleight of hand shit, like pulling out cream out of like nowhere, that shit was so fucking awesome. It sucks all those guys had to be on steroids and fucking cocaine at the same time, but hey, it's worth it if you even made one person smile. It's okay to, you know, essentially give yourself an early grave. Beanies for well, sorry. So it's not necessarily the merchandise, but like the logo ideas, you know. T-shirt that has "and remember, friends," and then a line we can fill in. Oh, that's a good idea. And remember, friends. ... Fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. Let's read stickers, bookmarks, reading lights. Let's read logo, mask. Well, that's the thing is that like, yeah, I can't do the items because that's just up to Spreadshirt. What about a cute little cartoon astronaut you doing? You know, there is some Chibli, I think they're called Chiblies or chibi style stuff on there. That there's a lot of cute stuff on there, a lot of cool different designs, a lot of cool ones. Well, yeah, you guys think of stuff. I'll write it down. I'm very close to finishing this story. Hi, I like your videos and boys. Thanks, Jackie. What's poppin'? You would have no idea a dark passenger lives within his mind. I called my company the next morning, who paid for me to stay in a hotel for a few weeks, and then I left the town for good, and I never plan on going back. As far as I know, Derek was sent somewhere where he'll be taken care of and not a danger to himself or others. I am beyond lucky my neighbor stepped outside when he did, and that he was smart enough to call the police right away. If there is any advice I could offer anyone reading this, it's not enough to just lock your doors. Always check your windows and lock them as well. You never know what evil lurks outside. Boom shakalaka, story 7 in the record books. In the history books. Ooh, shit!
Old socks, huh? You want to wear wool socks?
Classic Mike Cade with a big 30 buckarino, a torqueable amount, says thank you for everything, Joel. Happy New Year, good sir. Thank you, Classic Mike Cade. Always good to see you. Making me clap them cheeks with no hands. Appreciate you. Yeah, how is everyone's 2023 treating them so far? We are 13 days in. You better have already given up your gym membership. Does anyone here say ooh after every story? I do need to get that on a soundboard or something. What about 5 astronaut stills of the twerk standing in a row? Oh, good fucking idea. Yeah. That's a good one. I'm surprised I didn't even do that yet. I feel like I have. Well, you know what? We'll get it. Astronaut. And like they're different colors or something, like all the different colors kind of stacked next to each other. Astronaut twerking. So like the FBI raids my house and they find these like schizophrenic writings. What the hell is this supposed to mean? Astronaut twerking? This guy was really off his rocker. Thank God we shot him. I mean, I know it was the wrong house, but this guy had it coming. Feeling tons of pressure. How come? 2023 has been stressful. Oh, damn. I was gonna quit, but then I got high. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Like the Grateful Dead Bears. Yeah, dude, that'd be sick. What about a mic and your cat? Oh yeah, that'd be good. A microphone and cat. Or like Pradeep talking into it. I'm writing this all in like really important legal documentation. Joel, you wrote on this with permanent fucking marker. What the fuck? What the fuck is a twerking astronaut? Yeah, sorry. It was like I read that wrong. Marching bears. It's just gas, honey. Alright. On to story numero ocho. Oh man. These ones are long tonight, surprisingly. Okay, this took place apparently in 2010. You guys remember that year? Those were the good old snays. In 2002, oh shit, 1 second.
They didn't do this back in 2010, did they?
The only way to get rid of sciatica is to twerk. Till you just go numb from twerking. Mammy Kitten with a 30 buccarinos says, hope yours is going better than my knee surgery. Not bad, but not great. Love listening to your lives with hubby. Well, thank you, Mammy. I hope your knee surgery is getting better, and I hope you're doing well in PT and all that kind of stuff. I know it can be a rough road, but it will definitely be worth it once you get rolling. Thank you again. This year's been crap for me. I totaled my car. My boyfriend is a nutcase, and we have some sort of critter eating its way into and under our mobile home. Oh, shit, I'm sorry. Well, I guess out of two, one of those things seems like it might be controllable, but at the same time, I don't want to impose. My neighbors get a good laugh. Yeah, they would. I keep them up all night with the clapping of cheeks. Just like, ch, 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 ch. It's fucking 2 in the morning. What the fuck? Is he twerking again? Jesus Christ. An astronaut ring around Uranus. Oh, that wouldn't be bad. Oh, that would be funny too, if it was around Uranus. Ring around Uranus. Uranus, sorry. You were supposed to diet, but you finished a big old bowl of cereal, Fruit Loops. Hell yeah, dude. Nah, it's alright. I think even better than dieting, in my opinion, is just like enjoying exercise. Because the exercise makes you feel really good. I mean, a good diet will make you feel good too, but like just like finishing a long run or bike ride or something of that nature, you know, good weightlifting session, like that feels infinitely better than just like not eating, you know what I mean? So maybe you can just offset, you know, those calories with something fun. In 2010, me and my wife were starting our new life in Raleigh, North Carolina. We both recently graduated with our masters. I got a job teaching at NC State, and my wife secured a job at a local hospital. After thousands of dollars of student debt, all the word herc. Shit. After thousands of dollars of student debt, all the hard work seemed to pay off finally. That student debt is a whole other horror story for another day, though. In the late summer months, we started our move from our old home in Philadelphia to North Carolina. We had most of our belongings already sent over to our new home, except for one truckload that we were going to drive down ourselves. We rented one of those moving trucks and decided we were going to take that truckload in the middle of the night. I am not the most confident driver in a truck, so we figured making this trip in the middle of the night would be most ideal because traffic would be less intense. For the most part, this was an accurate plan. Traffic was light, and the several-hour drive went splendidly for the first big chunk of the trip. With about 2 hours left on our drive, I ended up running something over and basically exploding the tire. I was able to pull over safely because there was virtually no traffic where we were. The tire was already instantly flat, and whenever I ran over in the road, or whatever I ran, see? Hey! Danielle's quiet with the two says astronaut, antelope, buttering a sock like toast. Dude, hell yeah. Wait, astronaut/antelope, buttering a sock. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually not, let me call the police. Let me SWAT myself. Don't do that, sorry. Astro buttering toast. Yes. Oh yeah, the be right back on a mug. Yeah. Be right back screen. CPAC, thank you. Good to see you. Alright, this is the last story. I gotta bang this out. The tire was already instantly flat. Whatever I ran over in the road wasn't just a nail or something. My tire seemed like it was annihilated. We remained calm and cool for a moment as we devised a plan. We didn't know if we had to call the moving truck company first, or our insurance, or someone else. We looked in the folder that the rental truck employee gave us, and they had a special number to call in case of any traffic emergency. We deemed it an emergency and called the number. After a couple of hoops, we got someone to come out and help us fix the tire, but it was going to be a little while before they showed up. A major inconvenience, but we figured that we could just sit tight for a while and watch YouTube or something on our phones. In hindsight, we forgot about the most important rule. In any type of accident, you should alert the authorities. This would be a mistake on our part that almost had a definite disastrous outcome. Only a few minutes after getting off the phone with the rental company, my wife nudged me and said, "Hey, there's someone behind the truck. I can see them in the mirror." I looked in the mirror and sure enough, with the red lights of the truck reflecting off his black sweatshirt, was a person. I kept my eye on him for a second, making sure he wasn't going to move. Again, not sure why I didn't just call the police, but the understanding and empathetic person that I am, my mind didn't jump to the police right away. And while I was staring at him in the mirror, she nudged me again, and now with nervousness and fear in her voice, she said, "Oh my God, look." I looked up from the mirror, and another person was in front of the truck. Oops. I looked up from the mirror, and another person. Why does that sound so strange? Mishvish dog and full-grown pizza hoodies. Oh yeah. You love baby carrots? They're pretty good. They're good fiber, but they are a decent amount of carbs. I mean, not that they're bad carbs or anything like that, but they're just more than I would like for a vegetable, you know. Thigh high senpai oof with a 5 says mood at the moment mischievous, might dip my sacks in the soda dispenser at my local Chick-fil-A. That is what Jesus would do. I'll tell you that much. I've read the good book, and it specifically mentions this instance. It's may or may not have been one of the reasons those 2 dudes that were next to him on the cross, why they were up there. Both of them. Thigh high senpai, thank you for the 5. Appreciate you. I looked up from the mirror, and another person was in front of the truck. I looked around, and there were no other cars. These people had to have come from the trees on the side of the desolate road we were on. Within seconds, 2 more individuals emerged from behind the truck. It was a young woman and a man, probably in their early 20s or something, and the woman gestured for me to roll down my window. I cracked it so I could hear her. In a soft but friendly voice, she said, "Hi there. I notice you guys are in a bit of a jam. Not the good kind of jam. But anyway, would you like us to change your tire? We're all fairly handy when it comes to cars, aren't we, guys?" I looked at my wife and noticed she had texted 911, something I didn't even know you could do. I looked back at the girl outside and I said, "Thanks, ma'am. That's sweet of you guys. The truck company's going to be here in a minute, though, and they're going to be fixing it for us." The woman, who never broke this hypnotic stare and over-the-top smile, looked around and thought for a second. Still smiling and chipper as ever, she responded, "Ah, I see. Well, that's too bad. Hey, sir, it's cold out here. Do you think maybe we could get in the back of the truck until your repair guy shows up?" I was completely torn up. In any ordinary situation, I'm the guy who would pick up these kids, give them a ride, feed them, or anything. I also preach that even though there are horrible people in the world, most people are inherently good, but the situation just felt bad. The woman was smiling, but the man behind her was a big burly man and stoic as can be. He didn't break a smile or even blink, I feel like. The person in the front of the truck was still standing there, and the person behind the truck was now out of sight. I tried to keep that nugget of information in the back of my mind, though. Getting out and running was also out of the question. Inside the back of the truck wasn't just furniture, but all our antiques, valuables, family heirlooms, and our personal information. It was not stuff that I just wanted to abandon. At this point, I was just hoping that they would leave. The 911 text message would work faster. Wait, I see they were saying a list of things that they were hoping for. They have mouthwash in the bathroom so you can wash your filthy fucking mouth before you eat the Lord's chicken. That's awesome. Dude, maybe I'll eat there tomorrow. Dude, oh, fuck. That's the cool thing for me about not eating food, is you get excited for it. Yeah. Oh my god. It's so funny whenever, he's laying there and he thinks I forgot about him, and then I turn to him and he gets all excited. He's like, oh my god, it's him. It's the guy that rubs my belly. No, he's licking his stomach. He's just licking his stomach. He's showing off. Are you showing off? Are you showing off? Say something about them winning or something? Who's winning? Anyone else notice what? Wait, what did you also do? Oh, did you know someone is scamming in your comment section of your videos? I know, dude. It's so annoying. Like, I'll ban them, and then it'll just make a new account. And apparently, it happens on a lot of YouTube channel videos and stuff. It's just, I am kind of curious though if moderators have the ability, just external from just chat, to moderate comment sections on YouTube video, actual YouTube videos. So I don't know, Lila or Fry or somebody, if you guys happen to come across, I don't know, one of those type of scams, that pretend to be me in the comments section. Basically, it's very obvious that it's not me. They use the same profile picture, but it's very obvious not me because the name actually says, like, text me on fucking WhatsApp or whatever and that kind of thing. And, you know, I would never do that, you know what I mean? Like, why, you know, come over here and you can win a prize. That's how you know you're a true success. Exactly. We made it, baby, when we got scammers pretending to be us. They want to be us because they ain't us. Hey, yo, Joel, been a while. Haven't seen your stream for months now. I'm starting to college next month. Hope I can see your future stream soon. Heck yeah. Yeah, I stream pretty regularly, so yeah, come back every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and best of luck with school. Ban the word congratulations on comments? Yeah, maybe that would be it. I wonder how you do that. At this point, I was just hoping that they would either leave, the 911 text would work faster, or the rental truck company would just show up, but at this point, it didn't seem like any of that was happening soon. I responded to her question with sorrow in my voice. Sorry, ma'am, we're just gonna wait alone. There was a rest stop a few miles back that way. You can go get your friends some food and stay warm. The empathy in me, though, to the empath, oh my god. The empath in me thought to kill them with kindness. I suggested that and then dropped a $50 bill out of the crack of the window. The money fell onto the ground and neither one of the two even moved an inch. And this is when I knew we were in trouble. The person in the front of the truck started to approach the side where the other two were standing. The one from the back who disappeared was now on the passenger side right on top of the door. I looked back at the young woman, who was still smiling, and she said, "You know, I think we'll just take the keys, sir. How about it, guys? Let's get these keys." And the big, burly fella moved in front of the woman and started to ferociously try and open my door. At the time, the other man was trying to open my wife's door. In a full panic at this point, I tried to dial 911 again. And while speaking to the dispatch, the lights from the cop car my wife texted could be seen over the horizon. I told the dispatch woman everything that was happening. The cop pulled up, got out of his car, and shouted something at the group of people surrounding the truck. The woman turned and faced the cop, but didn't move from the side of the truck, and she shouted back, "Hey, officer! These two stole our truck! We're just trying to get our keys! Could you pretty please help us?" From the mirror, I saw the cop talk on his radio, and moments later he told everyone around the van to back away and get on the ground. The three men obliged in moving back, but didn't get on the ground. The woman looked at me, then back at the cop and said, "You guys are silly. Bye-bye." In an instant, all four of the potential robbers fled into the tree line. The cop yelled and attempted to chase after them, but only made it to the tree line and then started to radio for help instead. In just a minute or two, several more cops appeared from over the horizon. The first relief I felt since this whole ordeal started. When the cops came, I told the cops everything that I laid out here. All of this transpired within just a couple of minutes. The repair truck came soon after and gave us a Wait, Lila, so if you went to a normal YouTube video, does it allow you to remove comments from normal YouTube videos or just in live streams? That's my curiosity. The repair truck came soon after and got us all situated, and we were on our way. What was most unfortunate was that this was most definitely a setup. The cops informed me that they found a thin strip that was covered in dozens of nails. And that was what I didn't see, and I ran over. The nail strip was an intentionally made item to rob or harm an unexpected victim. The nail strip. A master ball doesn't work on me. Yeah. You're gonna need a donut ball. The nail strip was intentionally made. The nail strip was an intentionally made item to rob or harm an unexpected victim who traveled that desolate road in the middle of the night. I didn't pursue this with the law anymore, even though I probably should have. Some people just get dealt a bad hand and make horrible mistakes. I just hope these young folks find their way in life and don't have the chance to hurt anyone else. North Carolina tweakers. Back on to North Carolina. Beast Kid, thank you for the 2 and good night to you. Thank you, thank you. Yes, my friends, we have reached the end of tonight's stories. I think that was about 7 or so. They're all pretty long, too. Scary fart stories, please. Just like number 10. Number 9. Number 8. All we had was those 3. Oh, in video comments I can remove them too. Oh, interesting, Lila. Thank you. Well, basically, if you happen to watch a video when it comes out, or you're just, perusing comments that appear, I've noticed that it usually takes about a day or so, or like half a day, but there tends to be a guy that it doesn't have the same name as me, but it has, like I said, it has something like text. Congratulations, text here, and they'll leave a comment like texting on. Message me on, some random website like WhatsApp or whatever to claim your prize. So if you do happen to see those, just delete those comments or whatever, or ban the person from the channel if that's possible. But do you guys reporting them help as well? I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure. You got your damn ID taken at the Sixers game. Taken? Just your ID? That's weird. Was it a fake ID? Were you trying to get beer or something like that? That sucks if you got, unless it fell out or some shit. I mean, wouldn't that include your entire wallet? Oh, it was indeed fake. Okay. Okay. Well, at least it's not your government one. And at least they didn't call the cops or some stupid shit. Been here since 260k subs. So excited for you to 1 million. Thank you, little baby. Little baby. Appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate everyone. It seems like there's a lot of people that stick around for the long haul, and that's always encouraging to me, because I know, you see some of these Let's Play channels that have 2 million subs, and I don't know, they just get dog poop for views. Because, I remember there was the one guy, his Markiplier's friend. His name was Wade. You know what I'm talking about? Not to knock on Wade or anything like that. Not to knock on his wood. Let's go look at Wade's channel. Wade, Markiplier. Oh, Bob. Maybe it was Bob. I don't fucking know. Oh yeah, this guy. I think it's Lord. Yeah, Lord Minion. Is it? No. My name is Wade. Yeah. He has 1.77 million, right? And he gets, and it's still you still make money, you know what I mean? But he's only, posted an hour ago only 1K views, and then posted 2 days ago only 23K views, and it's you would think with that many views, but unfortunately with Let's Play channels, the kids, from the ages of 6 to 7, you could be like, I love Wade, but then you get to 7 and you're like, fuck Wade, I like more PewDiePie now. He told me to read Socrates, or some shit like that. So the audience changes quite a bit. So I'm thankful that my audience, is interested in the stuff to stick around. When the games are done, people unsubscribe. I stick around unless it gets bad in general. Yeah, I guess that's true too. I mean, I guess if you're only interested in one game, like Five Nights at Freddy's reactions or some shit, or So it's hard to stick pure to something. I mean, even Markiplier with like 20 million subs, like, you know, I don't know. I guess even with that many subscribers, it's still like good to get like a solid 1 to 2 million views on a video. I mean, that's huge in general, but how is Mr. Nightmare over 6 million? You're not at 1 yet. You know, I don't really know. I mean, basically, long story short, Mr. Nightmare was the first person to do True Scary Stories, which was a huge boost for him. And like, in many ways, people like myself and others are kind of like riding the coattails of that a little bit. But it does kind of confuse me whenever like his videos get a lot of views, and I'm like, I wonder why we just don't get like, people don't get suggested over to my channel. You know, like, if there's something I'm actually kind of curious, like, is there something I'm doing inappropriately for my metadata, you know, as far as the thumbnails, titles, tags, all that kind of shit that doesn't draw people over from that? Because some of his videos still getting the 1 million views mark, and I figured like even just like people who trickle over, you think there would be some association or like a suggested video. I don't know. Bailey Sarian. Yeah, it would be sweet to work with Bailey at some point, just getting that notoriety and working together on something. I mean, I've never reached out to her, but it would be cool. You guys are each unique in your own ways. Well, that's true too, yeah. Does he show his face? He does not. He's actually probably like more mysterious than like any of the narrators, because like he's the most popular, but like he doesn't post on social media ever, and he seldom posts videos in general, or at least not as frequently as some. Oh, you found me through Mr. Nightmare. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, well, there you go. I guess my theory is full of shit.
I want more. I want more, don't you understand? I cannot be satiated.
Oh yeah, we gotta read this outro script. You guys gotta think of something funny for me to say at the end. Corpse Husband had something special and he blew that. You know, I don't think so, honestly. I think his music is one of those things where like he's always going to have his audience for music. Like, he popped off with the narrations, but he didn't really like that. And then he popped off with like I'm not exactly sure why he posted videos of him playing that Among Us game. Like, what, like in like the span of like his content, what, like he just woke up and was like, I'm gonna play Among Us and I'm gonna go viral, you know, because like that was a huge jumping off point for him to like network with other creators and then like get his name out there, that then led to his music, which is a very, like, I don't know, he's like, sometimes I've always kind of wondered if he's just like a secret marketing fucking genius, because his ability to network with people and get himself seen is like some of the most impressive shit ever, you know. But yeah, I think obviously at the end of the day, his biggest interest is just like playing video games and making music, and he's living his dream, and I think that's fucking sick. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. EST, and there are super fun live streams every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. And if you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks offered for the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories in big compilations and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. All links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends, and remember, don't forget to mine your craft. Don't forget your fake ID. I got a fake ID though. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Getting Gribsby. And remember, Shanus is the Ryan Reynolds of chat. Yeah. To accept no substitution. If you ever get a substitute teacher, don't listen to her. We all shart sometimes. I guess that's a good one. Don't forget to Pennsylvania. There you go. That's good. Thanks so much, friends. And remember to Pennsylvania. Can you do like 5 seconds of ASMR, please and thanks? Like gargling, maybe? You like gargling?
You like gargling, huh? You want to hear me gargle some juices in my throat? How about that? That'd do it for you.
What the hell's Pradeep doing? What are you doing? Hey. Oh, okay. I heard him over there fiddling around. ASMR Pradeep fiddling. 10 hours of Pradeep fiddling around. Alright, friends. Appreciate you. Love you. A lot of fun tonight on the stream. Thank you so much for the support. As always, I will get this up and ready to rock and roll on Patreon. Pradeep's throwing around a little bottle cap. And yeah, new video will be out tonight at 7 p.m. EST. So stay tuned for that. And it does really help when you watch the video right when it comes out. Lila will be in charge of finding all the scammers in the chat, in the comment section, and killing them in real life. No, I'm just kidding, but yes. All right, friends. Thank you again for everything. Sleep well or have a great day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you back again. Probably, I'll keep you posted. Probably Sunday night, since, yeah, but I'll keep you posted. Follow me on Twitter at Let's Read Creepy to be kept up to date when I go live, or hit that notification bell. It does help. All right. Goodbye.